That's fast.
Isn't that awesome? Hello, model railroaders, and welcome back to the Second Section podcast, where it's just regular folks talking about model railroading. I'm your host, Andy Dorsch, and joining me this afternoon here in partly cloudy Wisconsin is my co-host, Mike Ostertag. Mike, how you doing?
This is weird, dude, saying this afternoon instead of this evening. That sounds kind of odd. It's just really, I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I've got, things are going well so far.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Can't really complain. It's good weather's on the horizon. Thank God.
Yeah, we're starting to come out of the basements now here in Wisconsin and they started to pipe the sun in here. So we're starting to get some of that and the weather's warming up. But hey, we got a fantastic duo in the studio with us this afternoon. Back again for his second appearance on the show. We have Mike Confalone and his wife Susan. Welcome to the show, both of you. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Yeah, doing great. We're enjoying a little bit of sunshine here as well in New Hampshire. It's been a stubborn winter, very stubborn, but it's giving way. So, yeah, right?
We're getting there, that's for sure. Out in the gardens.
So welcome both of you guys. And again, thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon. We got a really great show. We're going to talk about a couple of items here: operations, and how we've or how you guys have got the tag team going for operations on the Androscoggin and Western Maine Railway in HO scale, and then we're also going to kind of do a deep dive tour of the layout as well. We got quite a curated set of pictures here for us to dive into and some video as well. It's going to be a pretty awesome show. But before we do all that, as we promised our fans in the last time that Mike was here, we do have to talk about 70s and 80s football.
Yes. Yes.
With
so,
the NFL draft coming on. Are you wearing a Patriots shirt?
Full disclosure. Yeah. I have a retro Patriots shirt. I hate the Patriots. I can't stand them. I have no interest in them at all. I like the shirt because I like retro old stuff, and I love NFL from the 70s.
I like that logo. I wish they'd go back to that logo. That's a really cool looking logo. Yeah, I like that one.
That's it's classic. Yeah. I was just watching.
Did you watch the draft?
What's that?
Did you watch the draft? Did you watch the Packers draft?
No, I don't pay attention to football today. It's just it's boring.
It's a different game.
Yeah.
I told you that last time. It bores me. Yeah. I've been watching just a random game from the early 80s. It was the Packers again. I don't know why. It was Packers Browns from '83. Lynn Dickey was the quarterback, and then Paul.
No, we must have a little connection issue there.
Was the quarterback for the Browns. Yeah, and the
oh boy,
Packers had all these talented guys and just couldn't get it done.
It's true.
Good kill.
Yeah.
The Packers, I mean, what did they have? Was it John Jefferson and who's the other wide receiver that they had? Lofton?
James Lofton.
Yeah.
They had James Lofton, John Jefferson. They had, oh my God, Paul Caruth was a tight end. Man. Yeah, they had a whole bunch of guys back then.
No, it's awesome.
Ivory.
So
they look like
am I lagging? Am I lagging today?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll have to have Henry turn off the PlayStation because it doesn't suck up the broadband.
We bet. that too. Was to
They're both frozen.
yeah.
I apologize here. I must be having some issues on my end. Is it me,
Okay.
Mike?
No, I'm lagging with them also. So it's but
Okay.
you're not lagging with me. So it
All right.
might be on their end. It could be.
Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, you guys are. It was maybe just some kids in the neighborhood downloading Fortnite or something like that. So
solar flare.
Yeah, we don't have too many issues here.
Solar, yeah, the old solar flare. So anyways, welcome back to Mike and welcome Susan. Mike, you're 3 shows away now from your free meatball sub. We give those away once you do 5 appearances on the show. But why don't you go ahead?
Ask Mike Rose if he's gotten his yet.
He's gone on like 15 times, hasn't he?
Yeah, and his checks keep clearing, and so we keep letting him come back on the show.
That's good.
So for those who in our audience who haven't had a chance to meet either of you yet, would you be so kind as to give just a brief introduction of yourself, interests in the hobby, and how you kind of are here to talk about the operations topics today?
Well, yeah, I've been in the hobby since I was 10 or 11, and like every kid, first train set 4x8, run around the loop kind of thing, and was into the hobby probably off and on through high school.
Sure.
And then when Susan and I met in 1984, long time ago, kind of put it aside for a little while. I think when I met you, I had a 4x8 in the bedroom.
Another 4x8.
So that went down for a while.
And then in our apartment, you had a 4x8.
Oh yeah, I did.
It was always a 4x8.
So I visited in college. I was in and out of it, more into Railfanning at the time, and then it really wasn't until like the late 90s in our first house when we were in New Hampshire that I built a small layout and started to get more, into it. Oh man, who are they?
Wait a minute.
So
I want to say before you keep going, Mike,
ago.
that is a second section podcast first, where there is actually a photo.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
That's
so
us-
how
that's
old
the-
Talk
are
about
you?
retro. That's really
That's
retro.
right. Yeah.
That's
How old are you guys there?
17.
17.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Senior
Wow.
prom.
senior prom.
Senior prom. Yep.
So this was the first 4x8s, that the era of the first 4x8, and then
Yep.
Right.
Oh,
you guys look
wow.
snazzy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
sharp.
Damn straight.
Mike asked me to include this one to just to kind of set the scene of
Yeah,
how long you
that's-
guys have been together.
that's-
Puts things,
awesome.
it puts it in perspective. We've been together for 42 years.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, it's a long time, and we've been through a lot, and to be doing what we're doing now, running a railroad together, is probably not common and not typical. But we're not. I don't think we're the typical couple. We've been it's a long journey. It's been great. So we're very compatible, and apparently we enjoy doing that as well. So yeah, it's we can tell you stories. A lot of stories. A lot of stories. But,
42 years, there's going to have to be at least one,
At least
right?
one or two in there.
Yeah. This is
Plenty.
So the real sort of serious or focused effort with the model railroad started in like the early 2000s, 2005 or so. We have a son, Tom, who's now 25. He has a disability, as a rare genetic disorder. So when he was 3, so we basically right out of the gate started with some heavy
Sure.
We didn't have a diagnosis, and a lot of difficult of difficulty, very difficult time. So essentially, I left my job in 03. I was a credit analyst with Ford, and decided to become a stay-home dad because we had a situation here where Tom was going to be going into kindergarten or into preschool, really, and we had no plan. So, you know, we're doing all kinds of therapy with him, and just, you know, heavy lifting. Both of us commuting to Massachusetts, not a good situation. So yeah, so we said, you know what, screw it. I'm leaving. I'm gonna quit. I've been there 15 years, and I'm gonna take care of Tom and do all the things I need to do. So that's what we did. I segued into that role as a stay-home dad. Susan was working locally at the time, and you know, really enjoyed her job, and so that enabled me to sort of, you know, I wasn't going to just be a stay-home dad. I needed some outlet, you know. So the model railroad, the hobby sort of came around again, because I had flexibility. I had time, you know, not, you know, it was a couple hours here, a few hours there, pick them up, bring them to school, get all the stuff you need to do as a father. Go to therapy 3 times a week, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, yada, 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 on and on and on. But it enabled me to get back into the hobby and start to build some things. And I realized that I really liked it. I liked it more than I ever had. And I kind of recognized some skills were there that I hadn't known about. And so that really was the start of it, say around 2005. And then the first shelf layout was built in 07. So it happened pretty quickly as Tom was a young kid, you know. And
but it was planned when we built the house.
Yeah, it
we
was
knew
planned.
Mike was getting the basement.
Yep.
Basement was model railroad, so we put in the beams, no columns. It was all planned.
Well, this is a good story.
And then he worked on the garage. So it wasn't really, you know.
You got to go with the whole story.
Then he, you know, worked on the garage. So once he started, you know, thinking about the layout, building out the layout, it became, I need my side of the garage. And I was like, what? You have the whole basement. You're kidding, right? What do you mean you need your side of the garage? I need my side of the garage. And I was like, no, this is crazy. We finally have a 2-car garage. We're in snow and everything else. No, like, no. And I thought about it, and I was like, why do I care? If he wants to, you know, deal with his car in the snow, and deal with the rain, it doesn't affect me. I have my side of the garage, so who cares? Knock your socks off, do whatever you want. So like the next day, his builder friend came over and started framing his car because he thought I was going to take back, you know, take it back.
He was literally over the next day.
He's like framing it up.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how much longer after that, probably 6 months even.
Maybe a year.
A year. He's like, I really need your side of the garage. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's a big ask right there. Holy cow.
I need your side of the garage. I'm like, no.
It was a dead, it was a flat
no. It was flat out. You are not getting, you need to make do with whatever you have. You have the basement, your half of the garage. No, hard no. And at this point, you know, walls were up in his half of the garage and everything else. So we went to visit good friends of ours.
Tim and Gretchen Franz
and Justin.
Yep, and Justin, yep.
And Gretchen and I were in their living room. The basement door's open, and Mike and Tim and Justin are downstairs. And I hear Mike say, yeah, I'm working on Sue to get her side of the garage. and the 3 of them were just like, can you imagine? Oh, you could do this and you could do that. And blah, 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 you know, the whole thing, right? So I think it was that Father's Day. I gave Mike a card from Tom, and I said, P.S. Mommy says you can have her side of the garage. So Mike was like, the deed to the garage. I got it.
I still have the card.
I was going to ask.
I still have it just in case.
The next day, his friend came back, tore it all down, and they started.
Yeah, the next day.
Because, you know, I told him, you're my electric car starter. Either you buy me an electric car starter or you're in.
That was the deal. There was blood. You know, this is blood sport here, right? As part of the deal, I had to, because she was still going to the office at the time.
Yeah.
So as part of the deal, I had to clean her car of snow during the winter, clean the car and start it, get it ready to go.
Yeah.
Everything needed to be done. And I said, yeah, I'll do it. And I've been doing it ever since.
But I heard that conversation with the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And how excited they were and the planning and everything else. And I'm like, what's a garage?
Well, you look at it now. The garage was a dump. 'Cause, you know, 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 'cause, you dump anyway. It was full of crap. Every spring
I
you'd
was
have
warm
to.
and dry.
What's that?
I was
Yeah,
warm
you
and
were
dry.
warm and dry. That's right. Now it's a beautiful room, carpeted. You go in there, it's all nice. But so yeah, that really to get that garage was. And this is before any of the planning for the Allagash or any of that.
Yeah.
This is when I was doing other things like a prototype, Northern New England based thing. And so, this is really, but I can't even imagine if I didn't have that half, I don't know what I'd be doing. So every inch of the space we have, which is a big space, it's 58 feet by 24 feet. It's a lot of space, it's a big room.
I'd always hear, you have the whole outside. You have the whole yard.
That was my
You
rationale.
have the whole
She's a
outside.
gardener.
I know.
You got 2 acres. I only have 58 feet.
Yeah, see.
So he has the garage.
So I'm going to bring up the track plan while we're talking about it here, Mike, if that's all right, to kind of get people a sense of what's going on with.
By the way, I just want to say, if we bicker a lot on this call, don't be surprised, because in college, one of Susan's roommates called us the Bickersons. We tend to piss him off.
The Bickersons.
Bickersons.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. This is
for 42 years, so there you go.
So this is exactly how my wife and I would be on a show together. There would be a lot of the back and forth. That's good. You're making our job very, very easy today, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. We'll take care of everything for you.
So this is the footprint that we have here. So where is the garage?
Down the bottom.
So this here by Farmers Hill.
Yep.
And
that's
East
all in the
Dixfield.
garage.
Right.
You see the jut out? See the narrowing? It's 24 feet wide in the basement, and then 22 feet, I think. Is it 20 or 22? 22 in the garage. So that's the garage.
Look at this. So this was the disputed territory. So which half was Susan's that you had to acquire, Mike?
The left.
It was the left?
Yeah, it was the left.
Are you sure?
So it'd be where the staging
Believe
yard
me,
is?
I know what I gave up.
All right, the left, she says.
Yeah, but he wasn't planning this layout at the time, so.
You see that little? I'm gonna point to it. You see that? Am I pointing to the? See that little?
He can't see.
Yeah, right there. See that right? That where it goes through that wall?
Yeah, right
You
here.
see that solid black line? You see how the track goes through there? So that is a knee wall. It's actually 2 feet thick, concrete. And then my buddy, the same guy, my friend, the same guy who did the walls, came over with a hammer drill. We actually drilled a hole 2 feet through that wall. Well, maybe it's a foot. It's at least a foot thick. We drilled a hole through that wall to get that track into the garage. And that was not fun. It was just stone dust everywhere. It was an absolute chaos. And then I had to chisel out. He did the raw, cutting of the hole, which took a couple of hours. But then I had to chisel it out. So anyway.
Wow.
So this black line represents it's 2 feet thick.
Well, yeah, it's I think it's more like a foot thick. Yeah, or it could be 9 inches, 10 inches. It's approaching a foot thick. It's a little like half wall.
Oh my gosh.
Well, what are the grids? What are the grids on the map?
It says they're 2 feet, but regardless, that is
holy
a lot of concrete to go through.
To go through. It wasn't easy to do at all. It was pretty scary actually. I said, I hope the house doesn't come down. But Bob Gurley, who's he was a carpenter by trade, and he assured me that it was safe. And I remember shoving, like he was on the hammer drill. And you know what a hammer drill is? It's like a jackhammer to hold upright. And now he's like, push me, support him. I'm pushing his back. And he's an older guy, probably 70 years old at the time. And I'm pushing as hard as I can to get as much leverage so he can get the drill. And it was just like there was smoke pouring out and just rocks spitting everywhere. And this is nuts, absolutely crazy.
Did you ever consider blasting?
Yeah, I'm sure.
But if you couldn't get through that wall, the track plan, there's no plan. That was the main line going into staging and everything. It's totally critical. So anyway, I digress.
So just to close the loop here on the introductions here, Susan, how did you get wrapped up in your, what was your, I guess, introduction to model railroading?
My brothers and father had a model railroad in our basement when we were growing up. So it wasn't, I didn't pay attention to it really, but it was, something they did. And I knew it was there and I saw it. But I don't think they were as serious as Mike is, right? But a lot of people back then had model railroads.
Oh yeah.
It was a very common thing. So, I knew about model railroads and whatnot. And then when we met, there was a club that Mike went to. So I had gone to the club with him.
Yep.
So model railroading was it wasn't new to me or anything like that.
Sure.
And then the 4x8 sheet in our apartment was like, okay, he'd run it back and forth and around.
Yeah.
You do what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and we went rail fanning together.
Oh, okay, that's another whole thing. So
that was all part of the train thing too,
that was major.
Till we, I don't know, till we nearly took air one day, ran over a cat and had an old man yelling,
Oh.
and I said, I'm out. That's enough for me. Like rail fanners have no rules of the road. They don't.
No,
laws don't apply to rail fanners.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, it's not a good rail fanning trip unless you've at least attempted to go Bo and Luke Duke once while you're out.
Yeah. Right. So I was like, I'm all done. I'm all done now.
Yeah, I mean, we used to back in the early '90s. I was like crazy rail fan, like not just casual rail fan.
Yeah.
I was as motivated as driven as anybody around here in this region to get the shot, And so we went out, Buddy and I went out most weekends, but Susan went around for the first couple of years. We'd be going to, all these, I wanted to go to all these desolate places like Brownville Junction, Maine, in the middle of nowhere at night. Sure. We'd be out there in a snowstorm, below zero, taking night shots. And I left her in the car one time remember in Vermont? I try
and block things out.
It was the Canadian Pacific. It was CP Rail, Canadian Pacific in the early '90s, and I just had to get this shot. I knew that there was a shot out in this field. I had to cross the field. I left her in the car, and I knew the train was imminent. So I went out, walked across the field, and it was like 100 yards or more. Went out there and set up for the shot, and then I'm like, where the hell's the train? And I know she's back in the car hanging out. Because you didn't want to come out. I don't know why.
I don't know why in snowstorm.
Yeah, but I couldn't leave the shot. I was so driven. I'm like, if I leave the shot, it was a killer shot. Jay Peak was like the mountain was looming. It was like 90 minutes.
The wife might freeze to death in the car, but you got the shot.
It was October. But I came back and you were none too happy. I remember that.
It was probably 3 hours.
Yeah. No, it was an hour and a half. I remember that was that. But then there was the time we, were going. I used to drive quite fast.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm done with this. So that was the end of the rail. That was the end of that.
Yeah.
But it gave her an appreciation for the visceral nature of the hobby, let's say.
See now, whenever I go with Joy, she's exceptionally reluctant to go with me because I'll go and I'll turn in someplace. And first words out of her mouth, "Are you supposed to be back here? Why? What happens if we get caught back here? I'm sitting here going, will you just not worry about it?" I'm like, I'm like, you know what? This is no. Are you
back
sure?
Back in the day, you went anywhere and nobody cared. They'd be nice. Cared. Everybody would tell you when the trains were coming.
Oh yeah.
They were very nice.
Yeah. Now you gotta watch what you're doing.
I used to call like as late as probably the mid '90s. I used to call the CP dispatcher in Montreal from my house at like 1 or 2 in the morning or midnight. And they'd answer the phone, RTC St. Luke. And they'd give you, one's 9:04 going to be into Newport. I'm going to go take some pictures. It'd be like, he'd give you the time, give you the last shot, the locomotives, everything. And you'd be able to land your ass where you needed to be and hope for the best. And, we used to do that all the time. It was never a problem. And so anyway, that's the rail fanning. And that sort of, just to close the gap, I think the rail fanning, at least my experience, influences the model railroad a lot, an awful lot. A lot of what I've done is based on, I try to capture the visceral nature of railroading by what I've experienced out in the field actually taking pictures of trains and chasing and all kinds of weather and all that stuff. So back to you.
I'm good.
You good?
I love this. I love
This is awesome. This is like it's like a newscast. Back to you, Susan.
I think too that we both are in general curious people,
Oh yeah.
Sure.
and we like to learn and we like to experiment and do things and help each other. So, neither of us thinks that what the other person is doing is weird or whatever. Like, I'd like to try this. So I think that helps too, with just kind of bounce ideas off each other. And, so it was no, like, that's when I heard Tim and Justin and Mike talking about that other half of the garage, I was like, what's a garage? Like, this is really important to his model railroad. So, which is really important to him. So it's like, there you go. The deed was given.
Indeed. I actually legally filed. I took the Father's Day card to the county registry and filed the deed.
Did you get it notarized?
Notarized and everything, man.
That's smart thinking right there. You're a thinking man.
I'd never
Mike,
take it
I'm telling
back.
you.
I would never take it back. No.
So, question. So then, when did you start getting into the operations and all the stuff that we've been seeing recently on social media with Mike?
Yeah, that was recent for sure, this year. But I've always been involved with the model railroad to a certain extent.
Sure.
A lot of times with backdrops.
Oh,
We do a lot with so he does the backdrops, and then he'll print different sizes, and we look at it together, and it should be bigger, it should be smaller, that's been a lot of fun.
A lot of
too,
consultation.
So there's been consultation about how these rocks look or whatever, so there's always been that part of it. And I like puzzles and logic and stuff like that. So for me, I always knew that the operations were just like a big puzzle.
yeah.
So, and I had said probably last year, the year before, that at some point I want to start like operating. I didn't know that it was going to be like operating, right? I thought
She goes to me.
switch a few cars.
Yeah, I'm like
But,
just real quick.
yeah.
She's like, next winter, I don't want to be sitting around doing nothing at night when it's dark. I want to go out and start running the railroad with you. I'm like, huh? I'm like, who are you? And then she said it again. And I'm like, yeah,
Maybe
right.
she means it.
I'm like, and then she said it again. And I'm like, wow, this is interesting. How's this going to go?
Yeah.
We'll leave back to you.
So we just started, and that's where, he explained that, because I never really knew, I felt kind of bad, but I never really knew, like, even the names of all the places, because they changed up here and there, right? So I would learn the name of this place, but then it was a different name.
That's not true. I didn't change the names of places when it was the Allagash. When it became, changed the name of towns?
Well, before.
Before what?
I try and pay attention. Whatever.
Wait, are you talking about back in the Woodsville terminal days?
No, this was,
Well, yeah, I mean, like, just things are, like, Andover wasn't always Andover. It was something else.
And under the AGR, it was always
Well, I know. Yeah.
But did it move locations on the layout, Mike?
Anyway.
I never changed locations.
Anyway, so,
I've changed a lot.
So then we started operating. I think we just started in Madrid doing some switching, just to like get used to waybills and what am I doing here. And then he gave me the map, and that was his worst nightmare, because I started really, like, I get into things. When I'm going to learn something, I'm learning something. And we'd operate for like 2 hours, and then we get into bed, and I'd be like, so wait, what about blah, 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 blah? And he's like, oh my God, just stop.
She was grilling me. She goes, we'd get into bed after doing this, and she's like, so I have questions. I'm like, what? And she started drilling me with, different, like, well, what about when this comes into there, and these cars that are routed, all this stuff. And I'm like, download time. I'm done.
There's my map. Yep. So he gave me a map, and I wrote my chicken scratch notes all over it.
I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
So you have a cheat. You made yourself a cheat sheet then.
Yeah, I did, because there was a lot, like, that map tells you something.
Those are her notes.
But not
that's her
like
chicken scratch.
what, So I was making myself a cheat sheet to say, what's this division, what's that, what is this, and what is that, and where does this go? And so yeah, I was all in.
Oh yeah, it was trial by fire.
So this is no joke. I mean,
but it's been good. I think we've gone around the layout twice now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we operate like we'll do a session in between his sessions.
Yeah, between the sessions with the guys, we try to do a full. We've done. I think her and I. So have we done 2 full sessions?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and we calculated the hours, because she was keeping a tally on her phone. Each time we'd go down, I think it was what, 18 hours?
17 or 18
17 or 18 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Complete, just the 2 of us to complete every job. Yeah, so, an hour at a time, hour and a half at a time, something like that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it was trial by fire. I mean, that the first night at Madrid, switching Madrid. Can I say a bad word on the podcast? Or
absolutely.
Can I
go for it?
I can drop an F. So I was running the switcher there, and she's, looking at the way bills and, figuring it out, and answering a lot of questions back and forth, and then I brought a road job in and had a couple of C628s on it and some other big Alco, and it's coming across the bridge, Gator, RC15, and they're coming into the yard. We're bringing this road train in, and we're going to yard it and dump, meeting the Locomotive. She's like, and I'm like, yeah, they're loud, so that taught me to turn things down, because all the power was, just too loud. It was just like this. The audio experience was through the entire fleet, and adjusted everything down, re-EQ'd everything, and it's really good right now. But anyway, that first night, I filmed it. I put it up on Facebook because it was just comedy. It was we were having a blast, but doing a little bickering and and but I was surprised at the level of enthusiasm. Like, I didn't know how it was going to go. I had no idea, really, because it's pretty technical.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's fun.
There's a lot to learn.
It's fun. Yeah. Yeah. The switching was good. Learning that. And what I realized about Mike's layout that I really like, not that I've operated anyone else's, but the switching is at a level that it's challenging, but it never pissed me off.
No.
Right? It was never so annoying that you couldn't figure it out, or you had to, which was nice because it's a challenging puzzle, but it's fun. It was never annoying. And I made that comment after operating a little bit. I think we were doing a Sharon job.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is really good because you really have to think about it. But at the same time, not too much. And it's not
a switching puzzle.
You don't want to, if I'm working all day and then we go down and operate for a couple hours, I don't want to have a whole other job that I have to.
Right. Yeah. You want it to be somewhat relaxing.
Think that hard about. But it's, he has a knack. I think you have a knack for doing that. Where it's challenging and fun, but just enough.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's sweet. they bicker back and forth, but then there comes the sugar on top.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
We're ridiculous.
The other night, honestly, we
Mike, are you banking all these compliments right now? Are you tallying these up like in your head?
A lot of capital built up.
We'll have.
We were switching the other night at the paper mill at East Dixfield, and we were both a little tired, so we're down there. Normally it's an hour and a quarter. We were down. She's like, it's been like 2 hours now.
We were down like 3 hours.
And I wanted to make this one final move. I'm like, we need to have the two longest tracks of the yard ready to receive the road train. And she was going, well, what if we did this and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I was yelling. I'm like, just give me a effing clear track to bring the switch. I was done. I was just starting to get punchy. We both were.
I was in charge.
Yes, I was like, enough's enough.
My way was better, just for the record.
Yeah, she's smarter than the average bear, and that's the bottom line. What are you going to do?
So this is amazing.
But I'm always good for derailing. Ask Mike Rose. If Mike Rose is on. Hi, Mike.
He's in
I can't.
Florida.
the whole switch thing, or the switches aligned. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. I have a real mental block about that, and I don't know why. When we built this house, even our old house, like I did the whole plan for the house, every wall, every electrical, every.
Yeah. Ooh. Did we have him freeze?
A little bit.
Oh no!
Hold on a minute. Oh, it was going
Just
so
had him.
good. Oh, wait.
Thing, and I cannot figure out these models.
Uh-oh.
I think they froze up on us here. Just one second.
I'm
and the language.
I'm gonna.
Uh-oh. Did you
and
do
they're
that?
Gone. No, I did not.
Oh no!
I think they dropped.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I tell you what. All right. So here's the thing. I've been watching the comments. Do you know how many people have asked for Susan to talk to their wife?
I know. It's hilarious.
It is amazing. I mean, this is. I tell you what. She's. I got when she said about well, whatever about the garage, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, she's got at least a 50% stake in 1/3 of the layout, for crying out loud, giving up that part of the garage. So I'm like, she's a co-owner of sorts,
Yeah.
It seems really like they've got a good chemistry when it comes to when people are not at the layout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It seems very much like they have, for lack of a better way of putting it, they kind of got their shit together when it comes as a couple when it comes to the model railroading and the layout itself. It's refreshing and cool to see. Oh, hello.
Let me see if we got him back now.
Okay, we got him back, but now we can't hear him.
Yeah. But no, if you guys can hear us, show some signs of life.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, no audio.
There's no
audio. We cannot hear you.
But that's okay.
Oh, hey, that's kind of a cool knickknack cupboard by their thing, isn't it?
Their house looks very nice. They got the same color paint that I have in my background.
Are you sure it's the same?
Pretty sure.
Oh.
Pretty sure. But this is the type of production value that we love here.
After over 5 years, this should be expected.
Yeah, should be expected. So some of you might be noticing a change in background. For myself here. So we had a flood here at the Ripon studio for second section, and my basement flooded out, and I lost the workbench and the studio setup and all that stuff. Posted it all to the Facebook group, the Second Section Podcast Facebook group. So yeah, we have a bedroom painted the same color as your room there. Nice. And it's a common color. But yeah, we lost a ton of stuff here. Let me see. They're coming back in.
Hello,
let's see if
Can you hear us?
we got them now.
Hi.
We got them back.
We didn't really do anything.
No, it could be we could be pulling a lot of internet down, so you never know.
Yeah.
But
well, we're back better than ever.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So we were talking about just the last thing that I think we all heard together was Susan was right and her way was the better way of switching out the paper mill.
That's nice, Andy. Way to punch Mike in the gut right away. That's fine.
It's
Truth, but I mean, it's just I would have.
A lot of times.
No, it's fun. I learn a lot from him still. Like I still have a lot of questions, and what I find really interesting is that it's always different. So when we go to work somewhere, it's always something different. It's like, oh, now we're coming in this way and we're doing this. Like there's nuances to every place that we work, and it's just always different, which is nice. It's not just the same old, same old.
You know what's really, that she's getting hooked when she asks, like, if we have a 3-unit consist, she's like, so is that a C420 in there? That's a Gator, right? That's an RSD 50. You're getting better at recognizing locomotives, which is not easy to do,
Yeah,
I don't care as much about that either, frankly, but
well,
I figure I should know.
I'm gonna, in full disclosure here, one time where, we finished switching and we're running a road job, she goes, road jobs are boring. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But necessary.
I don't go for those.
But no, you're getting better at it. In terms of I said, listen, and then the other thing she was doing, I said, she's talking when we're running the road job. I'm like, zip it.
I'm asking questions.
I said, no. I said, silence. Shh, we're on the road. You want to absorb, immerse yourself, listen to the locomotives working, going up the grade, going down the grade, watch it go through the scenery. All that work we did in the yard now is paying off. It's paying dividends. We're running the road train. This is where you experience, the sort of cause and effect of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Susan, I do have one very, very, very important question to ask you.
Wait for it.
Should I be afraid?
Are you starting to talk to yourself while you're doing this? Because that is the sign that you are completely immersed in everything you're doing right that moment. Is if you're sitting there talking to yourself out loud where others can hear you. Have you gotten?
I do. I think I more talk to Mike, right?
Well,
so I think I more think through things while.
No, I've heard you mumbling and muttering.
Oh, you have?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I guess I do.
It's good.
A little bit.
That's good. See that? Welcome. You know what? Golf clap time. Welcome to the club. Yep, that's
progression.
That is progress. Yep, that you are. Yeah, you are very much getting into it, as they say.
So, Mike, I got a quick question for you. We curated a bunch of content. Do we have the content focused around operations, or is that specifically for the layout tour?
The content is I wanted to provide for the viewers a tour of the railroad because there hasn't been one done other than an MRH. But this is an opportunity for people to see the railroad as it exists in the room. So I shot it. I gave you a gallery of photos that were more Railfan focused, but then the tour pictures are, if you're walking through the room, this is what it's at. We can talk about operations at each location, absolutely. So everywhere you want to attack it, we'll just take it as she comes, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I guess basically what I wanted to do was let's continue our operations chat here because there's a couple more questions that I wanted to have, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing any of the pictures, that if there's anything that correlated to the topics that we wanted to talk about. So I guess from the aspect of like the road jobs, the switching is better. Do you have a preferred job on the layout that you really like, Susan?
I do, actually. The funny thing is that I hated this job at first, despised it. Mm-hmm. We worked it a couple nights and I was like, I don't like this at all. And then we wound up running the railroad, going through the second time, and I came up with my little system. And I said, well, this could be better. And then this last time we just finished it up, I'm like, it's my favorite. East Dixfield, paper mill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
East Dixfield paper mill. So I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think I have a picture. I do want to
Yep.
bring one
Yeah.
up of
Yeah,
that.
it's a whole
You know, when I
series,
first
there's
started,
a whole
there's-
series of
When
shots
I
of the
first
mill.
started, there was a
Yeah.
switch list. There's all these boxes. There's an outbound train over here. There's cars in the yard going out. There's
Yep.
It was just all over the place. But I came up with my little own way of working the boxes and the cards and whatnot.
Well, you work
So-
in like 6 industries within
Yeah.
one in one footprint, basically.
Yeah.
With a paper mill, there's so many different spots and so many different things you need to accomplish, and then you
Yeah.
need to build an outbound road train and accommodate an inbound train, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Mhm.
yep.
So I wasn't a
So
fan at all at first. It was just too confusing to me, and there's too
Yeah.
much going
Oops.
on.
Yeah, that's a nice broad
Yeah.
view of it, actually, of the mill at East Dixfield. So,
This
But
is
yeah, I would say
great.
it's my favorite now.
So you
and
have.
it's not complete by any stretch of the imagination, but it's basic template.
So when you're operating this job, what's the like how is it a train just for the mill here? That you get a cut of cars that you have to interchange with the road jobs, or how does it work?
So there's a mill switcher that comes on duty. So everything you
Okay.
see in that yard right there, that's the receiving yard on the
Yeah.
all the chip where the chip cars are. The mill switcher comes on duty, and that inbound stuff was dropped by the previous day's road job from Madrid. There's a turn job that runs from Madrid to East Dixfield and return that services the mill. The mill switcher then does all the work. All those cars, some of those cars, based on the needs of the mill, get spotted and taken out and loaded pulpwood and wood chips in, raw materials in, finished product out. And then the switcher will actually build an outbound road train. And at the end of the session, a road train from Madrid yard comes down to East Dixfield, comes into the yard, runs around its train, grabs its outbound and leaves, and then we repeat it the next time. So there's essentially a dedicated road job to the mill and a dedicated on a switcher at the mill.
So the mill has its own switch engine then?
Yes, it does. Yeah, there's pictures of that down in this sequence. It'll show.
See, Susan, we might have to fight over this job because that would be right up my alley.
We'll
I
run it
like
together.
jobs like that.
You come out here, we'll run it together.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
you go.
absolutely, I'd be all for that.
So what made you hate it when you first started it?
It was, there's like an outbound box around the corner that you can't really see for the traffic going out. But, you're kind of making part of the outbound train in this yard. So I'm like, where do I put the cards? Like, I was just all over the place. And then you have all of the industry. So you have cards coming out, cards going in. I was just really
Confused.
I was holding a lot of cards, that was one thing Mike always said when I first was operating. He's like, why are you holding cards? Like, why? Waybills. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why are you holding waybills? Like what's going on? Like, why are you holding all these waybills? And I'm like, I don't know.
Those boxes there, or if you zoom in on those waybill boxes, you'll see they're all marked.
They're the industry.
They're for the spots, for the various spots. So it's trying to just convey the fact that the bills stay with the cars in the location where they are in the mill. And if you need to, if you're switching a cut of cars, you pull and say bunker C oil cars out of there, grab the bills and put them over into the oil box. Just do it. See, a lot of times Susan was trying to, because she's a really efficient worker with planner and worker, she's trying to plan moves ahead and trying to do it efficiently, where I have a different approach to it. I just simply do it I do one task at a time. I try, if I can do a couple moves, and be a little more efficient, fine. But if not, I try not to get overwhelmed. There's the engine house down the other end of the mill.
Here's the
So there's the outbound train right there,
oil
outbound oil.
and
Yep. Outbound
This is
yeah. So, but this is the last photo, I think, in the sequence. It might be an aerial photo of the mill, which really shows the footprint. But that little pink foam there, so that is the last. If you go back to that, Andy, 1 second, go back that. That shot that shows the pink foam, that is the last frontier. That's all that's left to do scenery-wise, macro scenery, not details. Macro scenery on the entire AWM railroad right there. That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yep. So that's the reason I kind of just shot that to show that's that's it. So anyway, there's an aerial photo of the mill that kind of shows all of the sidings, the way it's laid out, and it's a really cool place to switch.
Yeah.
It's a
It
little,
encompasses everything too. Like you have to do some runarounds, you have to shove trains and pull. Like, which direction do I have to do that? And so you really have to think about which end are we on, and which industries are we working. It's really a fun job. I really didn't like it at first. At
yes.
all.
And that backdrop is about 25 feet long. So that's the longest backdrop on the railroad, and it, certainly from every angle, it just kind of sets the stage for being in a paper mill. The actual physical 3D buildings were almost ancillary to the backdrop.
This is cool. I love the brick building.
Yeah, that's the original mill, like that. So everything behind that, all that industrial chaos going on.
Yeah.
If you zoom in, you can see a lot of those are pictures from actual mills in Maine, and so that's a lot of these mills were augmented over time. They had you'll see those original brick structures, and then behind them, you've got the more recent additions over the decades. So it's an amalgamation of many decades of building on and expanding the mill.
This is really fascinating, just the scene itself. But I mean, I can't. How long does it take to run the mill job?
3 hours.
A good 3 hours with two people.
With two people.
Yeah, with two people.
Oh.
One person would be a little longer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe less with less bickering,
Yeah.
but around 3 hours.
About 3 hours or so. Yeah. A good sell. I think I did it once myself, and it was more like 4. It really depends.
So
does
this
the
is
engine
just a job on an operating session, and that's it. I'm sorry, Mike. You go ahead.
No. I was just I got a couple questions. Like, so
Sure.
does the engine for the mill get swapped out? So does that rotate out, or is it that engine dedicated to the mill all the time?
No, in reality, that would get swapped out. So for each session, I'll have a different logo. I mean, really, I'm modeling, say, a 60-day window, March and April of 1989, for all intents and purposes. So I'm not going to have the same engine there all the time. So I might have that RS11 there for a few sessions, and then swap it out and throw something else in there. It's not a dedicated. At one time, before the changeover to the AWM, I had an actual international paper pair of Alco switchers that were, mill switchers.
Yeah.
I decided to go in this direction of having the AWM provide the switching services there, just for variety. But this, I reserve the right to go back to that international paper model, because it's really neat. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of right now it's where it is, but I might change back. I'll have to see. We'll have to see.
The other question since that basically answered my second question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because the fact that because if that engine gets swapped out, it's not just, it's got to be able to be put on a road train. So it's got to be able to have the speed table inside of it has got to be set so they can be used out on the road.
Oh yeah.
Rather than because if it was a dedicated locomotive, I was going to ask you whether or not you had that speed table set up so it can only go so fast, to where, like, when the sound was on, it made it sound like it was working harder, but it's going slower. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that would be a subject for an entire podcast.
Yes.
I'm going to say this right now. I'll just say it. I've spent more time than anybody in the country, I guarantee it, tweaking and playing with sound. When I say playing with it, I mean, locomotives, any locomotive on the railroad can run with any locomotive. They're all interchangeable. There's no
Yeah.
problem there. They all are fully equipped with whatever they need to be equipped with. They all have scale sound speakers in them. They're the right prime mover for that particular 251C is not the same as a 251B. They're different, and each
Yep.
prototype has different ones. If you're a Loc Sound fan, Loc Sound has the catalog. They've got everything. Matt Herman did amazing work with them. So,
Yeah.
but to get to your question, so that RS11 that's in there can simulate. You could be shoving on a load of cars and in notch 6 or 7 and barely moving, or you could be light engine and cranking along. It's set up so that you have all those. All that functionality.
That's cool. That's very,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
So we
But
do
if
have
you guys, if you want to go start the tour from the beginning, because this is at the actual end, whatever you want to do, we can talk more about this, or you can go back to start the tour from Madrid and give people an actual walkthrough of the railroad. Whatever you prefer to do.
So let's there's a couple of operations focused questions here, Mike, from the audience. So Tim Garland from the Seaboard Central says, do you designate specific yard tracks for inbound or outbound storage?
Yeah, so the yard over to the left there. So there's 2 yards here in the mill. There's that yard where you're pointing to. That's basically where the inbound train comes and basically has to double over usually or triple into that yard. So all of the inbound traffic gets sorted there. And then on the right, against the backdrop, is the wood yard. So that's basically the 2 yards. And then everything else is spurs going into the different, different spots. So in this track if you see that cut of pulpwood cars, I don't know if you can see that right there. Just to the left of that, there's a track that goes around the back of the mill. You see that? That's a big balloon track. It actually goes back into the guts of the mill and services a chemical spot that you have to get up on a stool to reach. But that track also doubles as the departure track. So the outbound train is built on that track. So the switch builds. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's pretty cramped right now. How many cars are in the mill? You counted last night. How many were in there? Was it 39?
30?
39? No,
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
39 or 49. I think it's 39. There's like say 40 cars in the mill right now.
Holy
And
cow.
so that's what you start with. To answer his question, there's a yard for sorting and then a yard for building an outbound train and then a wood yard. So that's essentially it.
That's incredible. So then there's a follow-up question from Tim. He says, so how does the road train yard the cut and then get back to the other end?
Yeah, so they basically go, they pull in past the little brick house there. You can see that. No, I'm sorry. To the right of the oil tank, just to the right of it. Yeah, that's not that far. So the track, come over to the left, right there. That's the inbound track. He comes in, he goes into the yard, and then he runs around. Basically, just runs around, gets down there, doubles his train into the yard there. Sometimes triples it. There's 4 tracks over there. If you go back to one of the earlier pictures, you'll see that. The power runs around, comes back out, and tacks on to his outbound train right by that cut of pulpwood cars over there. That's where that train would be staged. Yeah, so he'd come in on this yard, come down all the way to this end. There's a tail track out of view. He runs around on the little pocket runaround that's closest to the fascia and goes back down the other end and fishes out his outbound train, which is built, and that is parallel to the wood yard, and then he leaves town. So it's a pretty quick process in and out.
But doing the work to get the inbound sorted and then the outbound built, that's got to be the fun aspect of it for sure.
Yeah, the switcher's busy for hours doing that, and you don't have a train bearing down on you. You just basically do your work during the day, and then that road job arrives, and you have to. One of the challenges is that yard you're looking at right there has to be clean. It has to have enough capacity to accommodate, say, a 17 to 23 car train. That's generally the size of the inbound train. So you'll make sure there's a minimum of 2 clean tracks and a runaround. So So that it's challenging for sure, but it's not frustratingly challenging. It's just enough to keep you on your toes, and you have to do a little bit of work.
That's cool.
Yeah, and
So
again,
then-
this mill is not complete, but the detail level is very. There's going to be a lot more that needs to be done here. So when it's all said and done, it'll be, pretty immersive. I think it'll be. It's a fun place to switch now. It's fully operational, but I think when it's scenic completely,
Yeah.
with truck trailers and everything else a mill needs, it'll be a lot of fun.
Here's Brooks Bentz says, glad to see the scenery is almost done.
Yeah, well, Brooks is planning. There's going to be an article in RMC on the AWM that Brooks is writing. Well, it's written. Him and I have written it, and I just need to get the pictures over to those guys. And then he's planning to do another article on the East Dixfield mill, just on the mill operation. So that'll be a fun thing.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. It'll be really
Good thing I re-upped my subscription there.
Yeah.
So I won't be missing that. No, so that's good. So any other I guess from the operations standpoint, things that you really like or find challenging with the Androscoggin and Western Maine, Susan? Anything aside from the mill job here? Any other high points that you really like?
Or don't like.
Yeah, what's your least? Yeah, let's do the other side of that story. What's your least favorite? You said the road trains, but okay.
Yeah, the road trains are, they're nice. I love the scenery, right? I love what Mike has done with all the scenery. It is top notch, and the photo ops are great and everything else. But if I'm operating, I want the switching. I want the thought process behind it and everything. I like working Madrid. That's fun.
Yeah.
Really?
That's a good time.
Yeah. Madrid is.
But I just like the fact that every place we go, there's just always something different. Even if we've been there a few times, I feel like there's like some little thing to switch up, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. We can do that, or whatnot. So it's just always a new little puzzle, which I like a lot.
Yeah, there's a natural variability kind of built into the operation.
Good. So, there's a couple other photos that I have here. Some folks did, and it might prove as a good transition before we get into the layout tour here. These were the ones that my wife was really keen on, but so
this is going to cost you a lot of money, Andy.
Everything's going to cost me a lot of money lately, but that's okay. Can't take it with me when I'm gone.
Right.
So,
That's
right.
So we have this is your pictures of your garden that you have, and you have a visitor here.
We do.
Yeah. We get bear nearly every year.
Yeah, so
they come in.
Susan is as passionate about gardening as I am about the trains, and I've worked a lot in the garden. Like today, I was shoveling mulch, so it's just part of the territory. But yeah, that guy. What was that? A few years ago? 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
Probably 2.
2?
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah. He's so cute.
So you have a fairly expansive
we
garden.
Had a bear sitting on. You should have given him the bear on our porch. We had a bear sitting on our porch eating birdseed like Winnie the Pooh with his head in the can. Right on our front porch. I mean, it was crazy.
So did they do a lot of damage?
Not really. No, they might stomp through some gardens, but they don't really mean to. They're just big. When it's really, really a hot, dry summer, they'll come in and drink up the bird baths throughout the yard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their dog bowl.
Yeah.
So there's that, but they don't really. They run away if you're out there. They don't. Yeah. Well, they don't run away. They don't really care. They lumber away. They don't really get scared, but they don't come at us or anything like that. So we coexist.
The bird feeders are what they're after. Like we feed the birds.
Don't tell people we feed the birds when they're out. So, everyone's like, take your feeders in. Well, we feed the birds. So.
But that's the front yard, the front garden. don't know, a year or two.
Wait, that's the
beautiful.
front yard?
Yeah.
Yeah, late summer.
Holy mackerel. That's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It really is. Do you have problems with any other this is just me now being curious about gardening because I have problems with deer.
Yeah,
And
awful.
Oh yeah.
so we spray stuff constantly, and then we've engineered the garden for deer resistant plants and stuff like that, but
Yeah, the deer are terrible.
yeah.
I spray.
She goes out there and yells at them and bangs
Yeah,
pots
they
and
don't
pans
care.
together, and they're very brazen.
They don't care.
they're-
So we have that. We had I had a vole problem till a stray cat wandered into our yard a few years ago, and we kept 2 of her offspring.
Yep.
So they're good hunters, but this winter we had so much snow. The vole damage is insane.
Yep.
This spring, insane. But that's all right. I have a lot of plants, so it's fine. And then we had a lot of chipmunks, but they left once a cat came in. Chipmunks left, so that was good. What else do we have?
Oh,
Nothing that really
occasional-
damages
no,
the garden.
turkeys. The
Turkeys,
turkeys
yeah,
are
I
there
have a
all the
love
time.
hate
Yeah.
turkeys are there all the time.
because they scratch a lot.
Yep.
So
We can do a podcast just on the garden if you want. I mean, she's got
Yeah,
a
I
tour
think
in June if you guys want to come. We got a big friggin' tour here. That we're
you guys are having a garden walk.
the tour, yeah.
Yeah. We did that last year, and that was a lot of work.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So no, this is fantastic.
it's good. It gets us outside, and it's good exercise. And
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, Mike was saying that the soil's a bit challenging there because there's not much of it, and you have to dig
Rocky. Yeah.
it's really rocky.
well,
huh?
yeah, I mean it's rock, it's granite, right? Granite state.
Yep.
That's what we are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So every time you dig, you're hitting rock.
Yeah, you have to use a pickaxe. There's no pickaxe is the only way to get into the soil. And I've dug a lot of holes here, like hundreds of holes. And dug out many. See, the problem is,
He digs the big holes. I dig
Just
well,
like
I've dug my share of big
just-
holes.
sure.
I've dug a lot. Don't let him make you think that he's dug everything.
Dug a lot
Sounds
of
kind of
holes.
like there's a hole being dug right now.
Yeah. What really pisses me off, I'll tell you, and it applies to the model railroad. You change things. Well, we'll plant stuff. Oh, that's got to move. And now the roots are 6 feet down. I got to move that viburnum. I got to dig that thing up. So I got to go to war with the damn thing.
Yeah,
gotta
my
get
hydrangeas
it out of the
and
ground. So there's a lot of moving and
There's not as much
shifting.
moving anymore. We're in good shape
but
now.
you've done a lot of it. So yes, I'm glad you've settled down with regard to that. But no, it's been awesome. I mean, it's a 4-season garden. Even during the winter, there's stuff to look at. For years I was the garden photographer. I walk outside and be like, I could run and grab the camera because the light's hitting something a certain way, or there's ice on something. It's been fantastic. When you look out the window and in the fall, the color is off the charts. Japanese maples and all kinds of stuff. So it's awesome. It's really a lot of fun, and just really, she's done an amazing job with the planning of it and the vision. So it's cool.
I have a question that do you harvest any of the plants to be used on your model railroad? So like a stilby or sedum or stuff like that for trees?
I've experimented with stuff from the garden for sure. There's several barberry, I think, that I've cut over the years. No, spirea.
Yes,
Spirea. Yep.
Yeah, some spirea branches that make really good bare trees. Stilby I've tried.
You did blueberries.
I did wild blueberries for a little while.
Yep.
So yes, the answer is yes. My nose is always to the ground, always outside looking around for stuff. And then I came across a mystery weed that grows up in Hooksett, New Hampshire, in this one field. And when it dies off, I would harvest it. It grows nowhere else. Nowhere else in the state have I ever seen it. So it could be a nuclear weed. I have no idea.
It's a super
It's like
fun weed.
it's near a landfill. It's like a filled-in landfill. And I was like, what is this stuff? We think it's some sort of what was
It
it?
looks like an aster.
An aster of some kind, but it's from another planet
Small.
because it doesn't grow anywhere else. But it looks, all the trees you see you'll see in the photos is this weed, and so that makes up a huge part of what I've used for bare trees. I have very few super trees. I don't use super trees for the tree. I use them for bushes and things, but for a forest, But
Right.
anyway, so I'm always looking around. Like even last year, we have a vacant lot of wooded lot across the street. I went over there and I was just looking around and I found a bunch of just random stuff in November or something, cut it and, make a tree here or a tree there. And it just adds variety to the landscape. So,
Yeah, my wife she's wise to it now because I'm having her plant a stilbe, and she doesn't like
Yeah.
spirea, but now we have a spirea bush in the back, and she's like, "What are you
Yeah.
using that for?" And so when I go plant shopping with her, she's very, very suspicious when I make a suggestion about a plant,
Yep.
or a perennial to put in, and she's like, "Yeah, is this going to be used on the model railroad?" And I'm like, "Maybe."
Yep.
So,
If it fits the bill, absolutely.
yeah,
nothing
I'm always
better than that.
looking.
There's nothing better than natural materials, and
Yeah,
really,
right.
it helps. So, yeah.
It's excellent. Excellent. So are we ready for the layout tour?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm gonna queue up. Where do you want us to start, Mike? We have all sorts of content here.
Yeah.
I got video, I got gallery.
Yeah, let's go through the gallery real quick, and then we can go on the tour if you want. So people can see, just you can go through that fairly quickly if you want, and then we can do the tour.
Yeah,
And,
let's take a look at
it's
some of the
mostly-
modeling here.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the cover photo for the stuff here, and apologize with me and my poor
You hanging out for a while?
skills on the computer here. So I think this is the first one that I have in the second section, gallery.
Okay. Yep, that's at Madrid Yard, and so the focus, obviously, the AWM is Alcos. Alco power, secondhand from a lot of it from the former Allagash or other sources. So that gritty, so the look I was aiming for with this railroad versus the AGR was more down on its knees, more gritty, more modern, secondhand engines that aren't going to be around forever. A few years, 4 or 5 years, they get out of them, and infiltration of EMDs eventually will come. So that kind of sets the stage for the image of the railroad, a much more tough looking, if you would, layout railroad.
Yeah, I gotta say, so that C628 that I acquired from you, that thing is beautiful, and I'm just in awe of the weathering and the whole package itself, because I ran that locomotive and the sound was dialed in perfectly. It wasn't overpowering. But I don't know, like it just had like this gritty look and feel to it. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And I think you're capturing that perfectly here.
Andy, when you mentioned the whole package about the locomotive, I just want to mention, I said that to Mike the other night, that, his model railroad really is the whole package, right?
Yeah.
Where the scenery is incredible. The locomotives are incredible. All the sound work he does on them. But then also just the switching of it is a lot of fun too. Because like I said, it's challenging, but not annoying. There's just the right amount of cars. So it really is like everything about it. For me, as I've been living with it and whatever, but now operating it, you can really see how it all comes together as a whole package, because everything is so detailed. From the sound to the types of units to the operations to the scenery, it's just all there. So I just wanted to give a little plug.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's nice. I love
you.
that. It's like
We're still corny after 42 years.
I
no,
would
it's
say,
perfect.
yeah, I'm going to say right off that my railroad does not have the detail level of some, but
Yeah,
it
well,
will at
yeah.
some point.
it has a lot.
I have a lot more to go. Like there's no switch stands here. There's there's no truck trailers. It's stuff like that, but that's next level. Some of it has already that done. But here's a good example. At East Dixfield, you've got a couple of former Allagash boxcars that have been patched out and re-stenciled for AWM paper cars. This kind of stuff, it paints the picture of a railroad in transition. And I will say, just to back up real quick, after our last call, I was, it's been about a year and a half since I pulled the plug on the Allagash, and that was after 16 years. I was feeling a little bit melancholy about doing that, and I remember after our last call, I put a survey out on the Facebook group to see what level of interest there was. I felt like there was not quite the enthusiasm for this new railroad, which is understandable. 93% of the respondents indicated they would like to have seen the Allagash return in some way, shape, or form. So
really,
and I entertained that for a while, the thought of doing that, and actually was kind of behind the scenes coming up with a plan to do that. And I have a backstory written and everything. But the more time went on, I felt no, no, I'm not going to do that. I have to do what feels right for me, not what people who are fans of the AGR. And hey, at least I didn't rip the railroad down. It's just basically been rebranded, and time marches on. To me personally, right now, I have never had this level. I'm not an easy person to please. I'll tell you right now. They call me Mike Rose. Mike Rose calls me Mr. Fussy because I'm extremely fussy about this stuff. I have no tolerance for certain things that just piss me off, whatever. And I've never been this satisfied with the railroad ever. Ever since AGR, doesn't matter. Right now, it's taken me a year and a half to get into this comfort zone where the locomotive fleet is just about complete. The freight car, everything looks like it should. But it's a Herculean effort. It's a year and a half to basically create a new brand and erase the old and transition into the new and make it all seem plausible.
right?
So, and realistic. And it's been a lot of decision making, a lot of sleepless nights, but kind of tossing and turning, thinking about it, oh man. And a lot of experimenting and trying this and trying that. So I absolutely love what's going on right now. It's just got the right feel.
So on that note, Mike, how many times like you have the re-stenciled boxcars? Can you go back to that, Andy?
Yeah, of course.
Like with the re-stenciled boxcars you just had showing right there. How many times did you go, wow, I really like what I did with this car with the Allagash and everything, and boy, it'd be a shame to have to patch this out, but okay, here we go. And that's it. You're did you take photographs at all of the before and the before you patched it and after?
No, because there's so many other Allagash cars that are still in full AGR paint. Because it's a railroad in transition, the AWM we're only 2 years in, ostensibly started in early '87, so it's 2 years into it. So there's still going to be some AGR cars in full livery running around. So there's a transition there. So there wasn't, matter of fact, the majority of the cars are still AGR, and I'll patch them as we go. So I don't really look back and, for instance, I sold all of the Allagash locomotives, every one of them. They're all gone. Every single one is gone, with the exception of a few vagabonds that I've got, these Gators, a couple of Gators, and when Bowser comes out with the C425s, I'll have a couple former AGR units that'll come in. But everything else I had, the Jeeps, the F units, everything is gone. Most people would say, why don't you just keep it for nostalgia? It's like, I'm not that way. It's just like, bye-bye, go. I hope someone, whoever bought them, the people that did buy them are collectors, and they're in a safe home and either being used or being displayed or whatever it might be. And I think that's awesome. But I don't have a display case of locomotives. I don't do that kind of thing. I just don't. It's just not my thing. You know, if it's not serving the railroad, if it's not working for a living, it's gone. You know, that's it.
I actually think that, you know, with the thought of the AGR being, you know, displaced, and the Androscoggin and Western Maine kind of, you know, rising up from that, it almost, I guess, gives a little more meaning to the old railroad itself, because the railroads like that in that time and era, they all kind of, you know, they had their day, but then they petered out and another one came in its place. And like we see that, you know, in the real railroading world, especially in the 80s and 90s, right? Look what the Fox Valley or the Fox River Valley Railroad, right? The fever,
Right.
you know, they were here and then they were gone. And you know,
it's the same. You know, it's the same like in northern New England, Guilford. You say the word
Yeah.
Guilford, and everybody cringes. It's like, oh, God. It's like,
Everybody breaks out in hives.
yeah, it's like a 41-year nightmare, basically. You know, so when I made the decision to, after several years of doing the AGR, I you know, became integrated into Guilford. I had to make the decision. I wanted a forward date to 1984. And I said, well, they either get swallowed up by the big G or they remain independent. I chose the first option, which enabled me to integrate and have all this Maine Central and B&M power and running D&H power and AGR power. And it was like a rolling rainbow, and which is cool for a while, but then, you know, then you have to ask the question, you know, what becomes of that? It was complete chaos. The D&H went into bankruptcy and was cast off. So my way of dealing with it was the same chew it up and spit it out happened to the AGR. And Railtex came in and scooped up what was, you know, viable of the system and is trying to make a go of it with this, you know, this secondhand Alco fleet, and trying to build back traffic that was lost because of the strikes and all of the poor service.
Yep.
It's reality. You know, that's railroading. That's what happened here in real life. So, you know, the old perfect Allagash, you know, the old that's gone. You know, I've moved forward and honestly, I'm modeling an era where I was becoming a serious rail fan. The late 80s, early 90s, and I'm in 1989. That's when I was out trackside. So I actually have more of a visceral connection to railroading in that era versus when, you know, the early 80s, 1980, when I was still a kid, when I had very little access to this region. I wasn't living here. I was in Long Island. So I had some trips up here, but, you know, not to the extent that I did 10 years later. So for me, it's just a perfect pocket to be in, you know.
Oh, I love it. I love the transition personally.
Yeah.
I think it just screams late 80s railroading.
Yeah, it does. What do you think, Susie? Does it do the job?
Does the job.
Good. All right, cool.
These scenes are just incredible.
Yeah, so that, you know, that paint scheme, it's important to note the decision to go, and I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, the decision to shift from Allagash to Androscoggin and Western Maine, or to scrap the Allagash and to do something different, was made literally overnight. It had been chewing at me subconsciously for weeks or months. I don't know how long. And then one night I said, I'm all done. I'm done with this. And that paint scheme, so there's a railroad in Canada called the Cape Breton in Central Nova Scotia, CB and CNS.
Yep.
In the early 90s, the Railtex operation, they operated former CN lines on Cape Breton Island. And they used a fleet of CN C630Ms and some RS-18s. And everybody was just like, it was just like, wow. So we made 2 trips up there, absolutely epic trips in 94 and 95. I mean, gorgeous scenery, incredible heavy. They used to haul steel and coal and paper, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, the Alcos were painted in this black and gold, similar to this, but with some more accoutrements. And it was just like everybody was pissing and moaning about black engines and why would they do that? I'm like, these things are killer. I mean, watching these things trackside, they're just absolute beasts. And in this paint scheme was, to me, about as gritty as you can imagine. And the sound, the smoke, spitting oil, and just absolutely sound like Apache helicopters. So, thinking back on it, I said, the thought of those locomotives running through this neutral scenery, these colors, because we went up there in March and April. Both times we were up there was in the brown season. And to me, it just said, yeah, I got to make this happen. And that was it. That was really the impetus for the actual thinking about changing, was the visual imagery and the visceral sort of feel of what this would do. And that picture sort of exemplifies it right there.
One thing that I think, not only as rail fans, but as model railroaders, that we always forget about is the fact that regardless of in real life, paint costs money.
Yeah.
And so if you stop and take a look at, like, over the years, like Southern Pacific railroad that made a lot of money had a very simple paint scheme, but yet a railroad like Rock Island, who was trying to reinvent itself, came out with an extremely expensive paint scheme that, because that colors were just hard to maintain.
Yeah.
So for a railroad such as the AWM to come out with black locomotives, hey, they're trying to save money. This is simple. It's kind of a corporate scheme to begin with. I mean, look at Watco. Watco right now, their engines are all black with the yellow nose. It's very simple. They don't have a lot of flash to what they do. But then the Orange Borg, that's an expensive. That's a different thing altogether. What do you mean? Why are you shaking your head when I said Orange Borg?
I don't know.
What? Why? That's fine. All I think about is because they're like assimilating everything. It's
just a funny term. That's all.
Oh, so like Genesee, but so if in our model railroading, the reality of if you're trying to reinvent or trying to come up with a paint scheme, my opinion is start simple first, and then develop as time goes on. Develop things as your railroad becomes more successful. You know what I mean? It's just because I love this. This is amazing.
I like the aspect of how you kind of went into the artistic composition, right? To understand, like, there's the muted browns and the grays, and then to have this contrasting color, up front really makes it pop. I like that aspect too, how you went through and actually thought about it. Because I'm going through the same heartache on my railroad where everything, my locomotives are green, but now I'm transitioning the whole layout over to a fall scene. So I have the green trains running through, the oranges, the yellows, and those types of things to get it to offset.
Yeah. So, it's something to consider. And again, I think one of my favorites is CP Rail, the bright action red with white. It's very flat. It's very flashy, and in Vermont or in Maine where they ran, it's an exciting railroad to was an exciting railroad to photograph because of that. But by the same token, there's something to be said for a lack of contrast. Like this more of a dismal, grimy look. Look at the clinch field. Remember the
clinch
field?
Oh yeah.
I mean, black F units with barely any yellow lettering on them. Just there's many examples. Penn Central, of course, was. See, the funny thing is, black and white is not particularly attractive. It's not. NS Penn Central. It's just like, but black and gold, like, and the color gold is important. Like bright garish yellow. No, it's got to be the right tone. And I'm not even sure if these pictures are communicating the tone of the yellow. But anyway, it's a different sort of look. It just it matches the scenery a little bit better and just looks more appealing, you know.
Right.
I like the subtle nuances, like on that last photo, Andy, where you had the change in the number boards.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that with my SD28. I actually changed one number board. The other three are all the same, and one of them was quote unquote replaced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean that adds like a little, you know, originality to it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and I like to do that kind of stuff because that's just the way it happened.
And the derail on the 77 and not on the 78. And
Yep.
yeah, but I mean, it's obviously you must need one of them if you're carrying it around.
Yes. That's the fuel pad at Madrid. There's a C628 in there, the last one that I do still have.
Wow.
Just a bunch of power.
Ooh.
That's sharp.
You see, now that doesn't that unit. A couple of the units don't have the stripes on the nose. The high hood RS11s don't, and this particular C420 no stripes. Why? I don't know. Because the railroad didn't feel like putting them on. They
Right.
did it in black and sent it into service. So you know that's what happened.
Pushed into service. That's it.
Yeah.
Got to make money.
We'll get around to putting them on at one time when the next time they get shopped, and it's been shopped 12 times since then.
Right. Right.
Yep.
The weathering's just fantastic on this one.
Oh my god. I like the fuel on the fuel tank.
Yeah.
That's
just
a very
just some oil, full strength black oil. That's all. That's all it is. Yeah, with a little brush, and that's about it.
That is the one thing I do.
Wait, you actually used real oil?
No.
No.
Oil paint.
Oh, I'm like, holy man.
I might try some oil now that you mentioned it. Susan, what were you saying?
I was just saying that is one thing I do like about the road jobs. I find them a little boring, but I like looking at all of the cars because Mike's weathering is, you know, just top notch. So it's really cool to see that car was like bright garish yellow, and now it looks like this, and you'd never think it was the same car. But it's just really cool to see, you know, some new cars and the weathering. So I like to look at those when we're doing it.
What do I need to do to make these road jobs not boring?
I don't know.
You got to start doing like hot box where you got to set out for bad order cars and stuff like that.
Maybe have a head-on collision.
Spice it up.
Oh, holy cow. Susan, did you just really say that?
Yeah, she did.
Holy
She's falling
cow.
back into the
It's like a Gomez Adams type of comment right there.
Exactly, right.
A little Adams family action going on.
Yeah.
I'll get my TNT.
Boom.
See, I like this scene because it's just got there's an it factor to this because this just screams, yeah, we'll get around to cleaning this up eventually.
Yeah,
this is just nothing but junk.
Right. I think what it speaks to, and there are other shots at this location. So at New Sharon, where there are units that are out of service. I mean, you know, I have a deadline, an actual deadline at New Sharon of Alcos that it's, you know, that I rotate in and out different engines to. They do some servicing on the run there, and then there are units that are never going to come out of the deadline. You know, it's just that's the way that's reality.
Right.
That's reality, and you know, having prime movers laying around in parts and barrels, and it just sort of it paints the picture that the Alcos, at least some of them, not most, won't be around in a couple of years. You know, if I were to forward date to 1990, say 1991, 2 or 3, this would be an EMD railroad, just like Railtex did with the Cape Breton. You know, after say 4 years, the SDs and Jeeps were coming in, and I've already got a few Jeeps, which you'll see that are, you know, a former Chessie and B&O, just to sort of set the stage, not to set the stage per se, but you know,
I like that.
Yeah, that's a locomotive that Neil Schofield, and Neil's a fantastic modeler. And that's, you know, a former CV RS11 stenciled for AWM. Again, this engine the intent here will be for the locomotive to get painted eventually by the railroad, so they're not going to go painting out the CV with green. They're just going to stencil it. It's going to run around in this, and
Right.
that's the end of it. And this is the way they looked at the end of. And all the locomotives that are on the roster were available for the AWM at the time. So in 1987, 88, the CV was deadlining all this stuff, all the Alcos. So they were available. So that's the thing that I try to be careful with.
That is beyond cool right there.
So we do have a question, Mike, from the audience here. The lighting is great on these photos. Anything special used?
No. So all of the overhead lighting that you've seen so far is just fluorescent tubes. They're all 5,000 Kelvin color temperature, but they're fluorescents. They're not LEDs.
And there's a lot.
And there's a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot. You go down there and it's very, very bright. So in this particular photo, there's also a bank of halogen lights. I have several banks of halogen lights around the layout that I'll turn on and off to create shadow. So in this particular scene, you can see some warmth in the logs there. And there's a little bit of shadow, a little bit of sun. But most of the layout lighting represents a cloudy, bright day. So not dismal, but no shadow, just cloudy bright.
Look at the flat car in the back there with the old, I guess, schmaltz left behind.
Yeah, if you zoom in on that, you can see it's bark basically.
Yeah.
So it's bark left over from the pulpwood.
Wow.
And then just the stencil and the stencil lettering, right? You know, and then just the other, that's like the only clean bit, relative to the rest of the car. And just, I don't know, this scene here is really fantastic. I don't know, this is like a cover photo to me, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a log load out. So pulpwood gets brought in. Those are 16-foot length, 16-foot logs, and on the rack cars. So there's different. In the late 80s, the pulpwood length started to increase to, 8. They had 8, 16. They even had tree length stuff at that time. So
Really?
different. Yeah. For the mills, they started to accept longer wood for pulpwood. So.
That's interesting. I didn't. So, what do they do around here, Mike? Is it 8-foot log?
I want to say it's 8 foot. Whatever yeah, I want to say because they're all. Oh boy, put me on the spot. Trying to think. Yeah, I think it is like right around 8 foot. 8 foot cut.
Back in northern New England, back in that time in the early 80s, 70s, it was always 4 foot pulpwood.
Yeah.
Then they had 4 and 8 combo, and then different lengths, 16, and then tree length. So in the late 80s, the Bangor and Aroostook Railroad converted some big cars they were called Paul Bunyan cars. They were pulpwood cars, and they were huge, very long cars. They modified them to handle tree length wood, so full trees. They were stacked in like this, like this way. So the mills were able to handle larger and larger length wood as time went on. So this is back at Madrid. This is one of the former Santa Fe RST-15's gators. So you can see the Allagash logo on the nose. These would have been purchased. There were 3 of these that went from the Santa Fe to the Utah Railway, and then the AGR picked them up at the beginning of the 80s.
That is cool.
So this is a kind of thing that, these units are on their last days. They're breathing their last breath.
Look at this scene's really cool. Just the grease on the rails and the ties.
Yeah.
That is well done.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And then I like the fact, to have a photo like this, and then to be able to read the Timken bearing caps
I know.
on
Crazy.
the wheels. That's really cool.
Good. These are Broadway limited models.
Are they?
do a nice job on them. Yeah, really good. They run
Wow.
terrific and they sound amazing. They can handle a big speaker in there and they sound killer. Yeah.
Oh, this is really cool, Mike. Love this.
I like the fact that he showed repairs being done to the cab with the white on either side. That's what that was supposed to be, because they just slapped whatever paint they had handy at the time and just covered up the welds or whatever it was that they had to do, because that is something that's a very realistic look.
This is one of just two paper cars in the AWM scheme. So basic boxcar brown, roof brown with a white logo. And that logo is designed, if you zoom in on it, maybe you can get a good look at it. Zoom in on the herald. I'll give a shout out to Dean Potter, who designed that logo. And I think it does what it needs to do. It's just speaks to the region. Androscoggin is a river valley, a region of Maine, and then Western Maine is the territory that the railroad covers. So he designed the logo, and it's just going to be on a handful of boxcars. That's the only thing I plan to do. It's on a couple of buildings as well, but pretty limited.
Oh,
that's
look at
cool.
That. Paper service.
Yeah.
You even got it returned to agent at Madrid.
Yeah, Jim Abbott at Highbell Graphics did the decal set. He's done a lot for me, so does fantastic.
His
work.
decals are so nice.
They're very good.
Yeah.
Jim does great work. Great friend.
That is so cool.
You have a tunnel?
Oh my God.
When did you put in a tunnel?
You know, I've gone all show without a meme-worthy thing. This might. Oh my God, dude.
That's the latest scene to be done, and it was actually the last major scene to be done. That's Holman Tunnel, so that's at the bottom of Holman Mountain. You'll see pictures at Holman Summit later, but this is at the bottom of the grade. We're starting at the 2% grade starts 3 or 4 engine lengths inside the tunnel.
Yeah.
And when you leave lower level staging at Dixfield or Bethel and you come up the hill, you don't see the train for probably 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes.
Wow.
I don't know. Depending on your speed, this is where you see it for the first time. It's buried under scenery. And then it comes out here at Holman Tunnel. Climbs the 2% grade all the way up the cliff, up the mountain.
That is such a good looking scene. Holy cow.
Wow. So
cool.
are these the nuclear weeds that you're having in the trees here?
Some are fetid goosefoot from Dan Risden, but I think if you'll see some more, you'll see shots later on that illustrate the nuclear weed a little bit better.
Okay. Oh man, I love the grass, the tamped down post snow grass there too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Jeez.
That's up on the Martin Spur on the Rumford branch. So that's you'll see some more pictures of that brick building is actually on the backdrop. That's a backdrop photo. So he's inside the fence now picking up a propane car. There's a suburban propane there. And the 7607 is
that gate looks amazing.
That's good.
Is there a lock hanging off of there? Andy, right just below the very far, or right at the right.
Okay.
Is that just part of the
part of the theme?
Part of the thing. Yeah, I was
part of the model.
If he modeled a lock hanging on that gate, I'm done.
No, I'm just not that granular. But you know, we will, and the gate's actually frozen in place anyway. But we'll when we operate, we approach it and stop and pretend we're opening the gate. That kind of thing. This is back at Madrid, so it's a sort of this goes to maybe a little bit of a weathering lesson, if there's lessons to be learned. That you got a C636 in absolutely fresh paint, and then you got a C628 in beaten black. So look at the difference between the color.
Yeah.
Just by applying dull coat to that 6721, that takes it from black to dark charcoal gray, and then you weather it. So, I like to have despite it just being black, you want to have the contrast between freshly painted engines and beaten engines. You don't want to have them all the same, because that's just not. Remember the Green Bay and Western, just a railroad that near and dear to your heart. So I remember seeing videos of locomotives with super bright red and beautiful, and then others that were just pink and full of soot. And CP Rail was famous for that. Like you'd see a train in Vermont in the early '80s, and a bunch of RS-18s, and one would be just right out of the paint shop, action red, and the rest would just look like they were destroyed. So anyway, the contrast between new and older paint is something to consider when you're.
Nothing stays shiny on a railroad very long.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's even like the car body here is, black, but there's still some weathering on the trucks and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yep. I love it. Oh, here we go. EMD.
Well, I don't see it yet.
You don't see the chassis?
Oh, here we go. Now I do. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that's a paint scheme. I like the chassis system a lot. The paint scheme is just amazing, but it screams and just begs to be patched.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple of SD7s and a Jeep 9, C&O Jeep 9, that have come on board that suggests the beginning of the end for the Alco fleet. Sure. But it's not something I'm going to model. It's just suggesting, maybe in a year or 2 years, the couple of EMDs are replacing a couple of RS3s and a Gator that are in the deadline. They're just doing what the railroad would normally do. We can't continue this Alco thing. We've done it for 2 years now. Maybe we get another 2 or 3 years out of the majority of the fleet, but we have to transition. So I put the word out to the Facebook group to try, because it's such a brain trust, such a knowledge base on there of guys with regard to locomotives. They come up with incredible data on what was available in any particular year. So it just so happened CSX was doing a major purge of first generation EMDs around the late 80s. So I said, all right, well, that's a good source. And the other thing is, what colors would look good with the AWM black and gold? If I had some, I don't know, I'm just throwing spitballs here, but Southern Pacific painted gray and scarlet, or whatever. And they just wouldn't blend right. The chassis paint, the colors, weathered chassis looks really, really cool. It's
Yes, it does.
New chassis, clean chassis it's a little bit circus-like. It's garish. It's like, I don't know. And C&O blue and gold, it all sort of blends together here. So as you can see, they look right together. And SD7s, I mean, I've got one at Madrid teamed up with a GP9, the C&O GP9, which I think there's a picture coming up of that. They sound incredible together, and they just look like they just arrived. They were patched, put a stencil on them. Let's test them out in the yard and see how they do, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
So there's no incursion there's not going to be a bunch of Jeep 38. Oh, here we go. More of this.
More of this.
Uh-oh.
He's all excited about the EMD stuff. And I was, oh yeah, well, wait a minute.
Sorry, I'm just going through them one right after the other here, Mike. But yeah.
Well, so this is the latest thing, and I've thought about doing this for a long time. But in 1988, the CP created a separate business unit called the Canadian Atlantic Railway, CAR.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And that railroad covered the trackage, I believe it was east of Megantic, Quebec. So all the trackage in Maine that the CP operated, which was a lot across Maine, and the maritime provinces, they basically created a separate business unit to try and make a go of it, to try and make it, maybe they had relaxed work rules. I'm not exactly sure what they thought. I'm sure CP corporate said, we're going to ditch this thing in a couple of years. Let's try this and whatever. I don't know the backstory. I just know that they created a separate business unit. Nothing changed locomotive-wise. It was all Alco MLW. So my thought here is that they team up with the AWM, with Railtex, to have a joint train that runs from the largest paper mill in Maine at Dixfield, not the one you've seen pictures of, but actual Dixfield, not East Dixfield. Dixfield is not actually modeled. It's in staging. They run a dedicated train from there. They pool the power with the AWM. It runs from Dixfield over the AWM to Jackman to connect with CP, and then actually runs all the way to Montreal. So they actually run a through train between this paper mill and Montreal, where the CP provides locomotives, crew, and on their section of it, and the power actually pulls through to make it efficient. And this keeps traffic away from Guilford, away from the CN. It's a strategic thing. Maybe it's a little bit of an experiment, but nonetheless, we're doing it. And so now you're going to see AWM Alcos paired up with some CP stuff on that one particular train, which will have two sides to that job. And it'll run across the whole Androscoggin sub, up the mountain, up the grade, everything. It's going to be killer. It's going to be fun. And that's just the first, that's an M630, first locomotive that I have completed. So there'll be more to come.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that, so this would be a road train that essentially goes from staging to staging then on your layout?
That's right. Staging to staging. Right.
Yeah.
With a stop at Madrid for a set out and pickup. And that's it. You're going to see blocks of CP paper cars in that consist, chemicals, all kinds of raw materials, all going via the CP gateway at Jackman and out to Montreal. So it's staging to staging. Yep. Yep. And
you have a lot of international flair to your layout that I'd never realized you had before. I always thought it was just strictly encompassed into the northern New England area, but you really embraced the international aspect of the traffic pattern, so to speak.
yeah, that's a must. I mean, in northern New England, CP and CN were huge up this way. They had big. If you know the area or if you study it, some of the most legendary places up here: Brownville Junction, St. Johnsbury, Vermont, Brownville Junction, Maine. Any number of places it had those are CP locations or CN locations of Danville Junction or Island Pond, Vermont, Danville Junction, Maine. So the CN and CP had big footprints here, and the CN owned the CV, the Central Vermont. So are you coming back or are you?
Yeah.
So the connections of the AGR and now the AWM, and those connections remain. We have connections with the CN, the CP, and Guilford, Maine Central. Those are the three primary connections. This photo here is a D&H, former D&H unit that just came to Bowser RS3M. So the D&H had a handful of these that were rebuilt RS3s. They were rebuilt with 251 12-cylinder motors and by MK. And these were in the deadline circa 87 at Binghamton or Colony. And so these would have been prime picking for the AWM when they started up. So I've got this is the first one. I've got a couple more coming. I think I'll paint one or two. Yeah, so it's a really interesting prototype. Bowser did an amazing job on it. Just killed it. Absolutely killed it.
This is a really killer model.
That is so cool looking.
That's awesome.
There's the wretched Jeep.
The wretched Jeep. Hey, it's got character.
Yeah. That was one of the most enjoyable weathering jobs I've ever done.
I like the roof,
Like,
how you did the roof on the cab.
Yep.
I like
yeah,
that.
these are based on prototype photos. You know, the chassis unit and this one were prototype.
Oh,
units.
really?
Yeah, yeah, right around that time when they were deadline. You know.
What? What is this?
Yeah. That's called the Quabog transfer. That was in the late mid 80s, it would have been 86, 85, 1985. It's a lumber logistics company. They transported lumber. And so essentially they ran over the Central Vermont, the CV, and that locomotive, the 3611, along with the 3606, were former CV RS11s. And apparently the owner of Quabog Transfer was a flamboyant person with regard to his color choices and chose to paint the locomotives metallic green. So it's actually a metallic green paint on them. And they basically it was a unit lumber train, lumber on flat cars. So piggyback lumber trailers on flat cars. And it ran across the CV with those two engines. So again, this was in the deadline around the late 80s and was available. My friend Steve Carlson sent me he said he had some metallic green paint that he picked up in a hobby shop in like South Carolina. It was like for RC planes or military or something. He said,
Sure.
I think I got one. So he sent me the bottle, and I found another bottle of similar metallic paint, slightly different, and I mixed the two together and absolutely nailed it. Very hard color to match. Very strange. If you zoom in on that green, that is a very, very strange color.
What is going on here at on the pilot? What is this?
Yeah, that's drop
That's your.
step.
That's just drop
Is
step.
that my drop step?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
See, I'm not an
Holy
outdoor
cow! I
aficionado.
just found a picture of the 3611.
Oops.
That's no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Even dirtied up, it still has that metallic sheen to it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my
That's
goodness,
crazy.
that is insane.
Yeah, it's a killer paint scheme. It's really cool. And the decal set was from Jim Abbott again at Eyeball Graphics. And he just did a great job. It's just such an unusual, unique to New England locomotive. They actually, in reality, the two of them, the 11 and the 06, went to the Winchester and Western down in Virginia. And were used. The 3611 was used. I chased it down there in 1993. So, but conveniently we brought it up here. So
it's funny you say that, Mike, because I just found that picture of them down there.
There it is.
Yeah, it's just
that's what it is. There it is.
I don't know.
Yep. They put a big yellow patch on the side. They didn't. They kind of butchered the aesthetic,
but it's so cool.
Wow.
That's phenomenal. Wow, the things you learn.
At night. That's awesome.
Tour. At this rate, we're never going to get to the tour. This is still the gallery.
I need to go out and mulch.
If you have to go out and mulch, you can go.
Teasing. I'm just teasing, but I'm like, wow, this is going to be 5 hours. You guys are funny. It is awesome stuff, though, right? Like, that's why I like operating, because now I'm really looking at everything. It's fun.
So Susan, while we still have you here before you go do the glorious task of garden mulching, have you done night operations on the layout as well?
No, I want to. We were talking about that at one point.
I gotta go pee. You handle this for a minute.
I don't know if you Okay, Chief.
Yeah.
So I said that I wanted to. Yeah, I don't think we've really figured out when and where yet.
Okay.
Mike's pretty particular about when things run like when things would really run, and let's not make up something at night that wouldn't really run at night. So, and I'm not that in depth with the operations yet to know what is what. But at some point, I think now that I'm feeling more comfortable with running, I mean, I can't even imagine how many derailments I'll have at night when I can see the switches, I derail. So there's that. But I'd like to try it. I really would.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's a thing that I want to try in my layout, but I'm still trying to figure it out, get it set up. But
He had done night operations for a while. I mean, back in the day when they would run, they would go all day and then into the night. And he has like strings of those blue lights all around the room.
oh,
So
does he?
he'll light those up, and then everybody had their little pen lights. And I'm not sure that everybody was really all that much of a fan of operating at night, though. It was difficult, to see things and whatnot. So
Yeah, but a good majority of
yeah,
a good majority of real railroading happens at night.
It
I
does.
mean,
yeah. So I'd like to try it. I think it would be fun.
No, that's
Oh
do
yeah.
you feel better?
Holy crap.
so and don't worry about the switches, because I still run through closed switches all the time on my layout. So I have the micro engineering turnouts, and I gotta flip the little switch, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we have
Yep.
too.
yep, I have been known to drill the points head on going the wrong way. So
Yeah, I just can't. Mike's like, just look down, just line it. I'm like, okay. I'm like 85, 90%.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But I'm generally good for one derailment per session, minimum.
Was that the end of the gallery? Was that the last shot that night?
that was we just made it through the last shot while you were in the latrine.
Just made it.
So question we have.
And he had a snack, so he's feeling good.
That was my blueberries.
Now he's got his
If Mike
coffee.
Rose watches this, he'll know I was eating my blueberries. I gotta have the berries, man. It gives me a punch of
I told him I
fuel.
would bring him snacks while he was doing this.
I go through a lot of fuel. I eat a lot. Like I never Anyway, just go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's good. It's a peek behind the curtain. I'm the same way. If I don't have a snack on me, I get a little grouchy. So my wife always makes sure I has something to nibble on while I'm doing stuff. Otherwise, things can get out of hand pretty quick. So this is gonna. So now this is this was the preamble essentially to the actual in-depth tour.
Yeah.
So, so then we have 3 folders here that and a video that I have. Mike, which one do you want me to start with? I have the Rumford branch, Madrid and Androscoggin, or East Dixfield paper.
Let's do we'll start at Madrid and Androscoggin sub. There should be a folder called Kennebec sub as well. Do you have that too, Andy?
I didn't get the Kennebec one in the download.
Really?
I will check.
Okay.
I will be right back. I have to go take care of. I have to do what Mike did.
Okay.
That's an important one, but
I didn't get, so the ones that came in that zip file were those 4. The gallery, paper mill, Androscoggin, and then Rumford.
wow. Okay, the Kennebec sub's not there. Okay, probably
And I'll
too
double
late
check the WC or the we transfer.
We transfer. Yeah, if I forgot to send it, that's weird. It should be called Kennebec sub.
Okay, I'll take a look here on the we transfer page while we get going. But yeah, let's bring up while we're talking. Let's want to start with, you said the Madrid. So I'll get that piled up here. Androscoggin 1, and away we go as we share the screen. That's it.
Was there time to send that to you if
Oh
need be or
yeah.
not? Probably.
Yeah, absolutely. If you get it to me,
I'd have to go down.
Yeah.
We'd have to take a 5-minute break. I'd have to go downstairs and send it to you.
yeah. Yeah, maybe what we could do is we could walk through this one quick while Mike is in the can, and then we can at the next break here we can walk through and send that next pile of photos out in the we transfer. I can download it and get it, and we can walk through it here.
Yeah, you're gonna want to start at Madrid Yard instead of the Androscoggin one. Start with the ones that are labeled Madrid. Those will be before this, yeah.
Let's try this. This is Madrid 1.
There you go. Okay.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah. So this shows Madrid Yard to the north, to the at the top of the screen. Yeah, and that would be okay. Yeah. So Madrid Yard is this is a division point yard between the southern and northern divisions. So if you go straight up along that narrow shelf, that's the going to the north end staging. You can see it kind of duck under there. That's the unmodeled portion of the railroad. So that's where Jackman is, the CP connection up there.
Yep.
That's where the garage starts.
Yeah, that's going into the garage, right?
This is the garage. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. And so this is where the division point would, this is the division point yard where the northern and southern divisions come together. This is where a lot of the classification goes on. So a busy place. And
let me. I was gonna do one other thing here. I'm gonna pull the track plan up too, so that way we can kind of get maybe our bearings here as well. So let me see. Can you guys see that? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're basically right here. Where we're standing, and we're looking this way, and then underneath the Martin Spur is the staging yard, correct?
The north end staging. That's the CP connection at Jackman.
Okay. So let's go back to our friends here. And so now we're looking at, looks like the engine terminal here.
Yeah, just turned around. Yeah, that's the engine terminal. And, still a lot more detail to do here, switch stands and all kinds of, I'd like to widen Madrid if possible. We have to look at the logistics involved in doing that, maybe by 4 or 5 inches to have a structure or two on the aisle side, like a yard office. Madrid, if it has suffered from anything over the years, it's been, I could use a track or two more, but not that I would add that. But it can be a busy yard. So, it's long, but narrow. But serves its purpose, and it's very functional.
What is your aisle width right there? I mean, it's
pushing 3 feet, 36 inches. So
pretty healthy.
Yeah, I'd need to, I'd love to have a little bit. The main line's a little close to the edge for me. There's not much you can do scenically there, so it's something to consider. But that's a conversation for another day. But that's where it all happens. You have an engine house there, a modern engine house, which ostensibly replaced a roundhouse, and then an old coaling tower, which harkens back to the days of steam. And that's that shelf heading towards north end staging. So that's a yard lead, pair of crossovers, and the main line is closest to the aisle. Ducks under there, ducks under the Martin Spur, and goes off to Jackman for a connection with Canadian Pacific.
Oh, I love that. So you got a full drill track then, so you can just hang out and switch the Madrid yard with no problems then.
Yeah, the drill track is indispensable. And oftentimes your engine, the switching is all done from the north end of the yard, not from the south end. 100%. So you're drilling constantly up that track and shoving back into the yard. That's the south end of Madrid Yard, that tower that's seen to be developed with an old tower there. So that's called Madrid Junction. And the little shelf going to the right, curving off, that's the Androscoggin subdivision. And that's a duck under. And then the track going up the hill, climbing, is the Kennebec subdivision, which the photos are apparently missing, which I'll need to get to you. But anyway, the Androscoggin sub curves to the right. And that's where we're going to tour. In this set of pictures, we're going to tour the Androscoggin sub.
Yeah. So is this permanently fixed in place? This
It
duck
is.
under?
Yeah. I had a guy who was, we had a water system in one time. We don't have it connected now, but he was over servicing the water system, which is behind that door. The boiler room is behind that closed door. And he came out of the door and was screwing around or something, and he went to duck under, but he didn't. I told him, I said, be careful ducking under. He didn't remember to duck enough, banged his head full on the bottom of that, and just went down like George Foreman in the Rumble of the Jungle, just went down. And he was just like writhing in pain. I'm like, dude, I felt terrible because it's 3/4 inch plywood. It doesn't give. So you got to be careful. And we try to go square and go under there, and we considered making it a lift. It someday might have Mike Rose come up and make it into a lift because Mike can do just about anything. So, and he's done a lot of work on the layout with me, a lot of engineering that I wouldn't be able to do by myself. So, but no, that is permanently fixed. So.
I think it's the one thing that I have an issue with on my layout is this. I have a gate that I made my duck under a gate at the bottom of the stairs, and
yeah,
I wish I hadn't. So
it has its advantages and disadvantages for sure. So the tracks you can see going through the wall there to the right enter into the basement. So that's the first thing you see when you walk in. And that's the Androscoggin subdivision, the crossing of the Sandy River.
This is the famed river and bridge scene that you have.
Yeah.
So we have it looks like a junction here then too.
Yeah. Yep. That we'll talk about that. That's Sandy River Junction. So that's the junction for the Rumford branch. Used to be called the White Mountain branch in the Allagash days.
Ah, okay.
So that's the Rumford branch. So that's looking at it from the turning around and looking back at it.
So you can barely tell where the train comes out of the wall there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Here we go.
And there's a grade separation here. The Rumford branch goes downhill, and the Androscoggin sub starts to climb here a little bit on a 1% grade. And that's the Little Sandy River. This is milepost 7.
So the track on the right is going down, correct, Mike?
Yeah, it's going down. Yep.
Okay. Ooh.
So all those trees in there, that's the mystery weed. All those gray trees in the background, that's all mystery weed. That's all nuclear weed.
The nuclear weed.
Yeah.
3 Mile Island weed.
Many weeds. So that's a skewed bridge that Mike Rose and I worked on. Very interesting project years ago. And that's a kind of a long view of what you see of the Androscoggin sub and then the Rumford branch going down along the river, a narrow river in between. And the Androscoggin sub is approaching the town of Weld.
This is incredible. I love this river scene.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was tough to do. In the old days, the area to the right, there may be another view of it, was a big sand pit, and this whole thing was redone years ago. And I decided to, broaden the curve here, make it more prototypical, gentler sweep, and then have the branch drop downhill to just create some separation,
Yeah, right.
And then squeezing a river in was, I think I remember now, I'm thinking back, it was a struggle to figure out what to do in between the two because the river is rather narrow. It's almost like a brook. But it works, it definitely works.
Yeah.
So you can, if you looking down, if you widen it out, there's a.
Oh, sorry. I'll widen it out. Yeah.
No, that's okay. You can go to the next show. You could see the garage opening straight ahead in that last view. Yeah.
Right here.
Yep. And that's a wide view of Weld. So I guess the thing I would say, if anybody's watching, is no matter how remote the area you're modeling, and this is a very remote area, you need to have civilization. You've got to have some kind of civilization. There's people, no matter how remote it is, there's people. So if you could just model one, this is the only town I have, really. There's a couple of little enclaves here and there, but this is the only real, quote, town where you actually have a downtown, a station, some residential homes and things like that. So Weld is that place.
That's one thing you like. I just want to have nothing but trees on my layout, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
There, even the smallest little burbs, have a little general store, a church, a bar.
What do you say to that? Anything to add?
No.
Nothing. Okay, cool.
Nailed it.
Nope.
So that's Osgood Grain. That's a grain mill, not a mill, a feed store in Weld. And so you can see a covered hopper spotted. They get bulk grain and also bagged feeds as well. And there's a town hall across the way, a general store over to the right, the Weld General Store. That's actually modeled after Weld. All the towns on this railroad, by the way, are real places. All of them. They're all on the map. There's no phony towns made up. They're all real.
So you just overlaid the railroad then.
That's right. Yeah. So like that Weld General Store is a real store.
We stop there for sandwiches when we operate.
We do. Yeah. We grab a soda or whatever. Yep. Cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you can simulate if you're running a job. The local crew pulls up to the store. They go in and grab a snack. That's what they do.
Mike's very realistic when we operate. Time between throwing switches and all these things.
Yeah,
and I'm always asking him, like, where am I standing now? I'm on the back of this car, and where I'm following here. I'm standing at this switch, right? You're gonna pick me up, So it's been fun, kind of learning what the conductor does too.
Yep.
And we go get sandwiches.
So when you stop to get sandwiches there at the general store, you don't dare park the train on the road, do you? Blocking the highway there, do you?
No, you pull up short. So that is actually a working signals there. That's the only working crossing signals on the railroad. There's flashers, but you can see a little toggle switch on the fascia.
Yeah.
That little toggle switch cuts the circuit. So we'll pull up to you'll pull up and the gates will be going, not the gates, the flashers will be going, but I'll go over and just shut the toggle as if the crew walked over to the relay box and pulled the plug on it so they can go get the snacks and not hold up traffic. Yeah.
That's like the one book that I have of the Chicago Northwestern talking about ore operations. There's a spot in the Upper Peninsula called Little Lake. And the trains always stopped at Little Lake because there was a little town like this, right? And there was a VFW there where they would grab lunch.
Yeah.
And so it's
just
interesting.
It's just more realistic to do that. So there's a wide view of Weld, and you could see there's a passing track there, and then a siding into Osgood's, an old shed for the bagged grain on the right, and then the bigger building, and then on the left there's an old creamery where there's a covered hopper spotted. So that's actually now a team track where a different farmer unloads, transloads grain on occasion, and you've got a track a track car house there. That kind of thing, and just the melting snow piles.
This is
so cool.
Yeah, this is really, really incredible. Like, so the W here, does that tell me to get on the horn when approaching the?
That's a whistle post. Yeah.
Whistle post.
Yeah. Nice.
What is your actual what is the prototypical track speed on your layout for the main?
I would say there's a shot of the Grand Trunk Hopper. The prototype speed, would be say 30, 25, 30 in the Railtex era. But I mean, I've never gauged or measured the speed I run at. I'd say it's certainly less than that, just because of the compression factor. And you want to, simulate the tonnage a little bit and slow it down. It's nice to get the wheels moving a little quick once in a while and give it some air. But
timetable speed, I guess, is the way I was looking at it.
I'd say speed. I'd say 30 probably.
That's cool.
Maybe.
Wow.
So that's leaving Weld, and you're approaching the big curve at Knox Farm, which is around the bend there. And you're looking across to Holman Mountain, but that's Knox Farm.
So is this the infamous location where you have people double their train?
Double the train?
Like where they have to take part of the train up the hill and then come back and grab?
No, that would be Holman. Yeah, no.
Okay.
There's no grade here. This is pretty much flat running through here. There's a grade, so there might be the next photo will show the next couple pictures, but the tracks actually disappear. Yeah, if you zoom in on this, just to give you a backdrop thing, keep zooming and zooming and zooming and zooming and zooming. Keep going in.
People on that road.
There's people on the road.
That's right. Right. So that's the backdrop on the other side of that bridge, and that's a road in the foreground on this side of the bridge. So they match up. When you're standing in the aisle, you actually match up.
And that's where we play around with backdrop, saying what size should it be, what's realistic for the,
Yeah.
That's a ski mount up there.
Look at that. You're
awesome.
right. Oh my. Now, is this picture taken in the relative location of where this farm should be?
No, that barn is a real barn. Rich Cobb built it from my expeditions up there, taking pictures in the early days of the Allagash. That's an actual barn and farmhouse that exists up there, and that backdrop is
so cool.
Yeah, so they really do exist together. If you pan over to the left, if you go to the left a little bit, you can see. So if you zoom in, look at the color. You see where that little tree is right in front of you, that little spruce tree. So the color to the camera right there, that's actual scenery. Behind that tree is photo backdrop. So the color matching the color of the foreground scenery to that backdrop, the grass, the static grass.
Yeah.
It's almost, that was a challenge here to get the colors to blend.
You couldn't, because you look at it, you have no idea where the actual diorama or the scene ends and then the backdrop takes over.
Right. Yep.
That's great.
And the tracks are right below that little tree. They actually go around the curve. If you back up to the previous shot, you go back one.
Oh, yeah.
It's a turnback. It's a turnback curve. It goes all the way around, ducks behind there, down low in a cut, and then emerges. We'll see in the subsequent photos. Does a complete S curve through this whole area and starts to climb up.
Oh yeah, so you can see it there.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
That's awesome.
Now that's the back side of the farm. You can see the tracks just down below, right up against the backdrop. You probably see the rails just a little bit curving under the farm bridge.
Yeah.
So he's going up, and then he's going to S back. He's going to make a complete S curve and go to the left, to the left. So at this point, I'm going to go around the wall, the next photo, to the left, that wall to the left, and I'm on the other side of that wall, and that's where the tracks emerge, the upper track. So he's done a complete circle right there, and he's
Oh,
starting to
yeah.
climb and go hard to the left again.
Wait a minute. Is that Grand Trunk covered hopper from?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Good eye. Good eye.
Yeah, Mike's got an eagle eye when it comes to these things.
Yeah,
There's
that's
not much you can throw past him.
now wait a second. If you look hard in here, isn't there a moose up in there? Isn't there one
No.
of the moose up in this area here, above those two spruce trees? If you zoom in, just zoom hard in, there might be a moose in there.
Is he to the right?
I don't know. I know he's in there somewhere.
Right.
Go to the right a little bit, Andy. And down a little bit. Pull it closer.
There he
down.
is.
Oh yeah,
Where
there
is
you
he?
go.
Oh yeah,
There he is, right
in
there. There he is.
Yep. Yep. There's a couple of moose in there. There's another one somewhere that's more obvious, but that particular one he's kind of hiding a little bit. So the tracks then, if you could start to curve hard to the left, and then below it is White Mountain Junction, where that branch, that Rumford branch came down. That's a whole, we'll see that later on. We'll revisit that, but just remember it's an over-under here.
Yeah.
So he's continuing to go to the left. He's hidden behind that cut. And across the way is Franklin County feeds at New Sharon, which is on the Kennebec subdivision batch of pictures.
So you use a lot of berms and tree lines in order to rather than have full backdrops in between front and back portions of the same part of a peninsula. You do that so that your eye is trained on one portion that's right in front of you rather than like that's incredible stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah. For using view blocks.
For views and view blocks.
Yeah.
When you run a train through, if you run a train through there, you can just see the tops of the engines cutting through. And so you're paying, your eyes kind of up there as opposed to down below, which is a completely different scene miles and miles away.
So what's the elevation difference here in inches? Like 5, 6
I'm
inches?
gonna say probably 5, 6 inches, 7 inches the most. Not
I
7,
don't think it's so.
maybe 6 inches or so. Well, after he traverses that cut, that hidden berm, he comes out at Carthage. So up to the top of the screen, you see the tracks kind of coming out of the woods there on a sharp curve.
This is cool.
And Carthage is the top of the northbound grade of trains coming up Holman Mountain. This is Holman Summit, and Carthage is a big international paper wood yard is here. And so pulpwood is loaded there.
Andy, go back a couple of photos.
No.
Please. I just want to say this is a good example of the fact that you can use a track as just a piece of scenery that looks like it's still active, like a piece of active track, as it's just scenery. I mean, because railroads do this stuff all the time. They got to put their track equipment has to be someplace. And this is just a great example of using a piece of trackage to dictate something other than revenue service.
It's a great point, Mike. I used to have this siding. I used to have a lumber transload here. And then I said, you know what? This would be better served as a maintenance of way base. And that's what it is.
Yeah,
a station, the equipment, it's a maintenance of way base.
Don't bother taking the switch out. They just probably have the switch spiked and just tore out the rest of that spur. Yep. And now we can just go and put our regulators and tampers and whatever the heck else we need to. A good place to hide a snowplow like you did. It's
Yep. So that stays there. It's a static scene, but it's a lonely spot on the railroad. There's nothing else around. And that, to me, it just was the perfect spot for it.
Kind of out of the way, not bothering anybody.
Right. So as you come through here, you start to go down grade. So that's the wood yard. You start to descend Holman Mountain, on a 2% grade. It goes all the way down and around. And this is, a good shot that shows and there it is there.
So there's a question, Mike. How is the snow done?
Yeah, so the snow is actually styrofoam, actual craft styrofoam that you can get at any craft store. Comes in like an
Okay.
inch thick, half-inch thick sheets. And when I made this, I actually you put it on the ground and stomp on it, literally with your foot, just stomp on it, and it compresses it slightly, and then carve it into these. So this represents melting snow,
Yeah.
not deep snow, fresh snow, melting snow. So you can see where the sun's been working on it, and it's just fading away. It's melting away. Then I just hot glue it to the mountain. This was the biggest. This construction of this mountain was the toughest thing I ever, scenery wise, was the most challenging thing by far.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
difficult. Because the whole entire mountain is a gigantic core of pink styrofoam, 2-inch stack, and carved into the shape of this. Then dirt, leaves, snow, melting snow, and 1,000 trees. And then these rocks, the rock work, which is cripple bush scenery. Cripple bush, which they're actually rubber latex rocks.
Oh, cool.
Wrapped around cores. So it was a nightmare. You had to carve the whole thing on a ladder. It was a bitch. Because when you see how big it is, how tall it is, like I don't know if the next view shows it. As you descend this mountain, it's huge.
Oh my gosh. You can just get an idea from the scale. Like this rock wall here is.
Yeah, it's vertical. Is that fully viewed out? Is that pulled out? No,
Yeah, this is pulled out.
Yeah, that's pulled out. Yeah, so I'm surprised it didn't include it. Maybe there's a more distant one, but that goes straight up to the trees almost touch the ceiling on at that spot. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, the ceiling's only 5 or 6 inches above the tops of those pine trees.
That's massive.
So as you can imagine, a train coming up that grade is, creeping at 5, 6, 7 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And the cars,
I think this.
It's nuts.
I think this is the joke that Mike was talking about, right? Where you're having trains having to be doubled here, Mike.
Yeah.
Are you remembering that from a video, Mike, or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think what happened was that was when we did Ops Live with Joe Fugate.
Yeah.
And,
Yes. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, Neil Schofield was running a sand train up that grade. There was no scenery here. It was all wood, just raw wood. And I intentionally underpowered the train. I knew Joe was going to be filming it. So he gets up about a third of the way and he just starts spinning. And I knew it was going to die. I knew it ahead of time, but I thought it would make for some dramatic, footage would be fun, So he had to double.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you need like a minimum of 3 big 6-axles to get a train up this hill. And we actually run we do run coal trains, and we'll run pushers to get them up that. It's an actual 2% continuous. And if you factor in the fact that a lot of the freight cars are heavily weighed down with lead, the weight of the train is enormous. So it's real tonnage going up a real hill.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool.
And there's a long passing track there. So that's the bottom of the hill.
Let me see. I think I got 1, maybe 2 more here. Oh, geez.
All right. So that's a good view of what it looks like. So that's the tunnel that you saw earlier is just to the left. And this is the last scene I had to do. This was just raw. Mike Rose used to call this the Tootsie Roll, this mountain, this entire thing, because it was brown. It was stacked styrofoam carved to shape and then painted with brown latex paint. So it looked like a gigantic Tootsie Roll. There was nothing on it. And this was the last scene to be completed, the bottom of Holman Mountain. So you're coming up, as you can see, out of the tunnel, out of an S-curve in the tunnel, up 2% grade, and then you go all the way up that mountain and S curve back into Carthage. So it's a the Androscoggin sub is one big serpentine, constantly curving back on itself, and hidden from itself in a lot of places.
So if I pull up the track plan here, okay, we started our journey over here on the left.
Yep.
Came across, took a right,
Yep.
crossed the Sandy River, came through Weld.
Yep.
And then here's Knox Farm with that big turn back.
Right.
Coming through Carthage.
Yep.
To Holman Summit. And then from here, do we go into staging then?
So what happens there, once you go back to the tunnel shot, you can stay here on this. Once you enter the tunnel, the train is out of sight. It goes underneath a place called Farmers Hill, which is right there. That's on the Rumford branch, which you'll see later. It goes under there, serpentines, turns back on itself again, goes underneath that Rumford branch and into lower level staging, which represents the CN connection at Bethel and Dixfield, the side of the big mill. So once it enters the tunnel, it's out of sight. And once it leaves staging heading for the tunnel, you don't see it till it gets up to the tunnel. So the cool thing about sitting, basically, if you leave lower level staging there with a train, you set your speed in staging at, say, 6 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, whatever it may be, engines revving, you go over the tunnel and wait, and you just hear the locomotives working for like 2 minutes before they reach the tunnel. Then they come out of the tunnel and attack the hill. So you hear this thing for minutes on end, just working away, and you don't see it. It's basically hidden track.
Wow. So you sent us a video of Extra 502 South.
Yeah.
Is that on this?
Yeah. What's that?
Is that on? Is that on this sub?
Yes, it is. Yep. Yeah, I forgot to include the first clip of it, which is pretty neat. But anyway, it's on Holman Mountain and then into the East Dixfield paper mill, and then it goes back up. So there's a few good views of trains going while we're on the mountain. You might as well run that.
Yeah. Okay. Here, I'll bring it up here. Everyone
Crank the
stand by.
sound up. We'll play it loud.
Here. All right. Let me see if I can get the sound to come through the speakers. Hang on. Is the sound coming through?
No.
All right, hang on. We'll get the production value started here. Share screen. Also share the audio. And we're going to do the window of my video player. Where are you? Of course, it would do this to me while I'm trying to actually run it. Oh, heavens.
Well, you don't expect anything other than that, do you?
Oh my God.
Like, why would technology ever cooperate with us?
Well, it's because I'm doing it, and that's the whole problem here. Because I didn't click the button. And it got mad.
You got angrified.
It did. All right, let's try it now. Is it coming through now?
A little bit.
Marginal.
That is so cool.
Jeez. Gone.
Done.
Yeah.
Bye bye. I was gonna say the switch is wrong.
Of course you'd pick up on that, Mike.
Nice job stopping for the switch, Susan. Wow. That just is so beautiful, actually. I guess I don't have any other word to put it.
Yeah. You really get a sense of the scale of the mountain too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's the thing I absolutely love about it is that mountain, dwarfs the train.
You don't see just like a foot of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Wow. Uh-oh. We lost them.
No, I think they just went off screen for a minute.
Oh.
I think so while you were gone, Mike, there's a whole subdivision of pictures that we never got.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
They're gonna come back and I think send those over while we do the next section of
Did you get my
track.
message?
Did I? No,
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
No, that was pretty awesome.
That was awesome.
So are you guys back?
No, we can't hear him again.
No, I can't hear him. Let me see. I'll edit their mic settings. We lost them. Let's see. I can hear Mike Ostertag, but I can't hear Mike and Susan. Let me see if I can do some magic here and pull them back. Guests can see this. Play sound.
Yeah, just wow is a very, very good way of putting it. Yeah, that is it is phenomenal.
It's unbelievable is what that is. Let me see. Close the window. So let me see. So we must have missed them again. We've traversed pretty much that whole sub all the way up to Carthage. It's what it looks like on that video. So that is some, just that whole mountain is massive in here, and it's just amazing. I don't know, Mike.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that is, just the sheer size and scope of like that video really gives you a great sense of like even the distance and the speed that the trains are running at and how they just, it's so real looking.
Yeah.
It really does immerse you into that, I guess it would say, what, northern New England scenery.
Yeah. I mean, and then the aspect of, this one job, right? We
Yeah.
went from essentially the yard all the way out down through, like, this is pretty much my entire layout.
Yeah.
And it's just one subdivision for Mike. So
Yeah.
it is really, really impressive. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we are going to try and get Mike and Susan back here. But in the meanwhile, we do have, let's see, a couple of other pictures. I guess, Mike, what's been the most interesting part of the show so far for you?
I think it's just the learning aspect of how Mike has come about with the timeline on how he's been doing things and how, and it really does describe how.
Hello.
We got him
Hi.
back.
Yeah,
we got him back.
It
Sorry
really
about
does it does describe how the mind and the thought processes through
Yeah.
the change and everything. And then the other thing is it's been really cool to hear how Susan's kind of got into doing it too. I mean, it really is it's actually a breath of fresh air compared to what I deal with on a regular basis. It's because it's like, oh, you're buying something else. Don't you have enough? It's like, well, no,
Now,
you never have
hope-
enough.
It's like you might see a few things on the credit card.
No, I have another obsession in guitars, so we can get into that. We have a podcast about guitar and amplifiers and stuff, and it's not good. That's not pretty. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear the video? Were you able to hear on the video? Because we couldn't hear anything on our end, but whatever.
It was very faint.
I had the speaker. It was able to pull in the sound of the Alcos, but it was faint. And that was production on my side, I think, Mike, from getting the sound to come through the stream.
That's okay. Yeah, I think we
hardly ever have connection issues, so it's just very strange that.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't hear any sounds. We couldn't hear you guys talking, and then we just went dead.
But we knew you were watching the video.
Yeah.
We could see you watching it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that train came. That was the East Dixfield turn that came down from Madrid into the paper mill yard, and I just filmed them coming back up the hill. So that was basically it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was, excuse me. It was really cool to actually see the scale of the mountain relative to the train, right? So, trains are massive things in their own right, 2-3 story tall things, right? And then to see it next to the mountain, I think that's something that a lot of modelers, when they model a mountain, they actually just model like a bump. They don't really get the whole scale of it, like, that you had there. And that was cool to see the train kind of wind its way through coming out of the tunnel too.
Excellent. Good deal.
Yeah. So what's the next part of the layout we're going to explore, Mike?
let's do the Rumford branch because that
Okay.
branch is off the Androscoggin. And we might have to do the Kennebec sub another time if you don't have those, unless I run downstairs and send them to you, depending on what you want to do. So, but we can do whatever you want to do. So
Yeah, let's do Rumford. And then, what we could do is we could do a part 3 as well, for the Kennebec sub.
yeah,
So if you give me a hot second here, because I don't want to take you away from mulch time.
Yeah,
It's an
mulch time
important-
is important.
Mulch time is important. Trust me. I get it'll be coming up here soon for me.
We use leaves. I rake the leaves. Mike collects the leaves. He grinds the leaves. I put them back on the beds.
yeah.
Oh,
That's-
nice.
We do
So it's a whole-
something
whole
similar.
cycle.
Yeah. We stopped using, we used to get natural wood bark, and it's just a mess after a while.
It
So,
can
yeah.
be.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the Rumford branch is leaving the Androscoggin main line there at Sandy River Junction, going down that hill along the river.
So what's the radius on the curve here as we come down and around?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. Yeah, no idea. I don't. Yeah, I'm a pretty low tech person, so I don't really know. I mean, I try to make them as broad as possible, but obviously it's whatever looks right, you know?
Yep.
I guess. So at this point, remember how we were talking about the Androscoggin going up behind that berm up top, just above your cursor? So the Rumford branch, formerly the White Mountain branch, ducks through, goes underneath right there, emerges from that little cut of trees into a place called White Mountain Junction. So this is White Mountain Junction, which is one of the coolest spots on the railroad, I think.
Yeah.
So at this location, and you'll see in the subsequent photos, I'll show you how it's laid out. When the Oxford County was running this branch, this is where they interchanged with the AWM and the AGR before that. But now it's exclusively AWM.
Okay.
So there's that view from before, the Androscoggin up above. The track below is the branch to Roxbury. It's called the Roxbury branch. That goes actually under the farm at Knox. It goes in there about 5 feet or so. So it's a stub-ended staging track underneath the farm, which can handle about an engine and 7 or 8 cars. So that represents a paper mill at Roxbury, Georgia Pacific. So there's actually a paper mill underneath the farm, in theory.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is that a simulated job that comes out and dumps cars at the junction then?
Yeah, I actually run it. I'll stage an engine and 4 or 5 cars in there and, have it pointing towards White Mountain Junction, just run it in.
Yeah.
He'll interchange there, then go back. And that's another wider view of White Mountain Junction. So there's a log yard on the left. So they actually, load logs there. And there's also, there just don't happen to be there weren't any cars here when I was taking the pictures, but to the right of the little section building is salt cars come in. So there's a salt transload there.
No way.
Nice.
And then the main line, you can see the station sign straight ahead, the little white sign, that says White Mountain Junction. The Rumford branch continues to the left, and when it leaves the yard, it goes through another hole in the wall into the over near Madrid. So we'll see that as well.
Oh, sure. Right through here.
Yeah, right. Yep. So there's the log yard. And, an old Allagash, look at the old Allagash trailer there.
This is cool how you got just the junk.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that.
I like the weathered trailer.
I do too.
Yeah, you don't like a lot of cars and stuff on model railroads are just, fresh out of the box, shiny, but yeah.
Yeah. So this is the other side of the hole in the wall. So it comes into a place called Andover. And you're right next to the stairs right now. The stairs are just to the left of the camera, where the Androscoggin sub went into the basement.
Oh.
Yep. So you're only a couple of feet from the stairs, a couple of feet from that duck under. We're heading in a completely different direction.
So now the train's going from left to right.
Yeah.
Aha, got it.
Yeah, from left to
Got
right.
it.
Yep. Coming into Andover.
And Madrid's right at your back.
This way to that way.
Madrid's to behind us and to the right. Yeah.
It's a tether ball.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
That's a neat feature. Oh yeah.
So there's the view in the corner. Again, an opportunity, like Mike pointed out earlier. I could have had a siding going back, switching back into that corner and had an industry, but I wanted to have some civilization there. So a few houses and a backdrop and a road. Just to kind of set the stage that this is, there's some people that live around here.
Civilization.
Yeah. Yep, just civilization. And crosses a grade there for this building called Andover Wood Products, and they ship out box cars of they're called what the heck are they called? They're cores, wooden cores. It's like a product that's used in machinery to roll things. Like there's a specific term for them.
Like a veneer core.
They're made of wood. Oh boy, they're on the waybills. I just can't remember what they do. It's based on a real business locally here in New Hampshire called Sohegan Wood Products. But anyway, so they ship out, and then there's another business in town called Oxford Mills behind the chain link.
So you have two industries here. So what is the tank car servicing here? Is that a paper mill?
Nope.
We lost their audio again.
Did we?
I think so. Are you hearing them, Mike?
No.
Okay. We must have lost the audio again. So let me send Mike a message here to see what's good on his side. Let's see. We lost you again. Maybe what we can do here, because we're rounding the corner into hour 3.
Yeah, and I've got to get going. I've got to be someplace in about a half an hour or so.
Yeah, so I can't hear them, but maybe what we can do is once we get them back here, let's stop the show and do a part 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we did get the layout is absolutely massive, and just like what we did with Ken McCory's layout, we can have Mike come back. We have the content curated for sure, and we can go and work our internet magic for the next time. Maybe it's just a lot of demand here on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So okay, let me see. I see we got them.
All right, are we back?
Yeah. So let me see.
We don't know what's going on with the connection, but maybe if we stay off video, we'll stay up. I don't know.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Otherwise, yeah. I mean, so we could do that, or if you wanted to do a round 2, as well, because we're at our 3-hour mark here. I think Mike's up against a backstop, so
Yeah.
if we wanted to, we can have a part 2 because we're just getting into the Rumford, and then we could also then do the
Yeah.
Kennebec junction or the Kennebec branch all together, or the sub.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay. You want to do that?
Yeah, I think that would probably be a good thing for us, because then we could essentially get you back on the show to walk through that in detail, because there's a lot of stuff that we've yet to cover.
Okay.
So,
Do you want to just end the first segment at the? You want to just end the first segment at the Androscoggin?
Yep. Yeah. And then what we'll do is we'll have like one of those TV show recaps.
Yeah.
You know, like, and when we last saw our heroes, they were at you know, basically the Sandy River Junction. And then we'll pick back up from there.
Do you think is this intermittent problem on our end or your end, Andy? Can you tell or not?
I think it's a bit on so I have a little bit of static on my side, but Mike Ostertag's been good the whole time. So I think it's a little bit of problem between both you and me.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so definitely losing it.
All right, cool. So will you publish this to YouTube as is?
Yeah, and then right now what we'll do is I'll clean up the ending here. But yeah, it'll be largely as is for the most part here.
Okay.
So, and then what I can do then, Mike, is I'll message you offline, and then we can tag up to get the next piece scheduled here.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
if I can, Andy.
He's that much closer. He's that much closer to his meatball sub.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. No, that'd be great. So, Mike Ostertag, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Mike and Susan, for coming on. It's absolutely, somebody just said it, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And it's nothing short of a masterpiece, I guess is the best way I can put it. And I was saying earlier, I think it's so cool that I think it's very, very cool when wives and significant others also get into it. And so, Susan, it's awesome. It's fun to listen to how enthusiastic you're getting into doing this as well. And you know, it really just shows that the hobby is there's a little bit of something for everybody in the hobby. And there's the appreciation level that the two of you show towards each other is just inspiring. And so, you know, I want to say thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Yeah.
You know, I do have to get going, but it's, you know, thank you very, very much. And I can't wait to have you guys on again. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Thanks.
Very good.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, been good.
Yeah, thank you again.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so you let me know when you want us back on, and we'll finish the tour.
Absolutely, Mike. I'll probably send you a couple of messages offline here right after the show, and we'll get it all sorted out.
Okay. Roger that.
Awesome, guys.
See you guys again.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, take care. Have a great Sunday. Bye now.
You too. See
Bye-bye.
ya. Bye-bye.
Outstanding. So what we'll do here is we'll close up shop, and we're going to I'll talk to Mike, and we'll get part 2 on the books. Probably be in a couple of weeks so that we stay with our normal schedule. Mike, any last comments here before we adjourn for today?
Nope. I just this was just amazing. It's the last 3 hours. It's just my head is just spinning. I've been taking notes. So it's just, my mind is just a blur right now. It's just and so I just like I said before, I think I've already made my comments. So it's just I can't wait for part 2, and that'll be even more fun, I think.
Well, we get to see the other half of the railroad, which is which is really exciting. So
yeah.
And again, I'm post-flood inspired to kind of get my workbench put back together and get back after it here. And Mike's layout just seems to do that. Every time I look at it, it gets the juices going for me. And now that we've been able to get a deep dive here of how he's composed the scenes, and now we're sprinkling in the operations, it's really starting to look like you start to get the idea of it as a full system, moving freight from one side of the system to another, and then you have this gorgeous scenery that ties it all together and makes it look like where it's supposed to be in New England. It's just it's really a full immersive experience. So I'm geeked out for part 2 for sure, because this just whet my appetite a little bit. So anyways, let's tie down for this afternoon. Mike, Susan, again, thank you so much for sticking with us on a Sunday afternoon, keeping you from mulching, and enjoy the mulch, and we'll be talking soon.
Anytime.
Sounds
Thanks,
great.
guys.
Thank you.
All right,
Great
you guys
time.
have a great
Talk to you
afternoon.
And
You
you as
too.
well. Take
Bye-bye.
care, guys. Bye-bye.